Yeah.
And what did they do? They won 5 straight games, and this one we just saw against a hot Kentucky team was so impressive. And Buzz Williams' teams always defend. They always play tough. They rebound the ball. They're the nation's #1 offensive rebounding team. They got 26 points in second chance points against Kentucky. And the guards for A&M was that they were able to get in the lane and make plays at the rim. Wade Taylor, the 4th, the preseason player of the year in the SEC, didn't quite get there, but he was projected to be one of the top players in the country. Kind of had an up and down year. Well, he had an up game as he went for 32, and Kentucky had no answers for him or Tyrese Radford. Those two guys were so impressive. And as I'm watching Texas A&M and what they do well, they're not exactly like Florida, but two of the areas that Alabama needs to have success in is containing dribble penetration in this game and keeping Florida off the offensive glass. And those are two things that when you look at Florida, when you look at Texas A&M, they're so similar in those areas. And the reason why all these sad folks wearing blue are heading out of Bridgestone Arena right now is because they weren't able to defend the perimeter of Texas A&M, a big reason why the Aggies got a huge win. One of the biggest of the day in college basketball is that solidifies their spot in the NCAA tournament. And their focus right now is to finish the SEC tournament. And they're in semifinals Saturday, and Alabama, Florida will have a chance to play the Aggies tomorrow afternoon.
All right, time for our little things presented by Chick-fil-A. Game day at home with Chick-fil-A. Order ahead through the Chick-fil-A app and score before the game even starts. Eat more chicken and roll Tide. You gave us some things to look for. But on the offensive end for Alabama, what are those little things they've got to do to beat the Gators in this one?
Well, one thing they haven't done yet against the Gators is shoot the three well, and that's understandable. Florida, the best three-point percentage defensive team in the Southeastern Conference. It's one of the reasons why this matchup has been difficult. Yes, Alabama hasn't been healthy, but Florida defends the three so well. Just 8 made threes in the overtime win in Tuscaloosa, only 5 in the loss, the blowout loss in Gainesville. This is an Alabama team that was making close to 12 per game from 3. Need to make some shots from the perimeter and also take care of the ball. 17 points off turnovers for the Gators in the last matchup. So taking care of the ball and making shots on the offensive end, so important for Alabama here tonight.
Keys to victory and starting lineups coming up when we return to Nashville. We are 20 minutes away from tipping it off. Alabama and the Gators here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Bama fans. Tuscaloosa Drug Company is a proud supporter of Crimson Tide Athletics. We've been serving our community and the University Athletic Department for over a decade. There are 3 locations in the Tuscaloosa and Northport area to serve you. We understand the importance of prompt and efficient service. That's why we strive to provide service that you can rely on, where we know you by name. The next time you have a medication need, call who the Tide calls, Tuscaloosa Drug.
Barkley makes it easy.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barkleygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you is.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
15 minutes away from tip-off, Alabama and the Florida Gators. The final game of 4 on this quarterfinal Friday at the Southeastern Conference Men's Basketball Tournament in Nashville. Chris Stewart, Brian Passink, Tom Stipe, Jim Dunaway with you here courtside at Bridgestone Arena. Jerry Kelly is our studio engineer. Brian, we take a look now at the keys to victory on the defensive end, presented by Ford. And, you know, great things happen when you have a Ford F-150 truck with impressive power and smart features. It's always a win with the F-150, proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. BP, what are those keys on the defensive end for Alabama to advance in this tournament to semifinal Saturday?
Well, it starts with the guards for Florida. You got to contain dribble penetration. We just saw Kentucky lose to Texas A&M because they weren't able to slow down Tyrese Radford and Wade Taylor IV. They were living in the lane. And that's one thing that Florida has done so well all year long, and they did great in the first 2 matchups against Alabama. It was Zion Poland, Walter Clayton Jr. Those guys have a great mid-range game. They were knocking down floaters and knocking down shots. Will Richard is kind of the X factor for the Florida Gators. He's been up and down from the three-point line, a streaky shooter. He was on a hot streak both games against Alabama. He got loose from the three-point line. He's a transfer from Belmont here in Nashville, comfortable in this town. Shot it well yesterday against the Georgia Bulldogs. Alabama has to defend those 3 perimeter players. And what makes Florida so tough is not just their perimeter. They have 4 guys close to 7 feet tall, and they're not stiffs. Those guys are athletic. They can defend, and they offensive rebound. Alabama's got to do a good job of keeping the Gators out of the lane and off of the offensive glass.
Roger Hoover's been with us a good bit of the year, handling our Cooks Pest Control bench reports. He is away with Alabama baseball tonight, and also he'll be with the Alabama women next week at the NCAA tournament as well. We are so glad to have with us Jim Dunaway on the bench area for Alabama tonight, or for us tonight on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Jim, in this one, the Tide of the Gators meeting for the 3rd time this year. Florida has had their way the majority of the time in each of the first 2 contests, although Bama got an overtime victory in Tuscaloosa. Give me a key that you're looking for early in this contest between the Tide and the Gators for Alabama to be able to advance to Saturday.
Well, I've been watching Riley Griffin warming up with that extended compression pants on his right leg, him moving around. Any minutes from him tonight, and getting back to that 4-guard offense, I think would force the hand of the Florida coaching staff. Do they stay big inside, or do they have to adjust to the Nate Oates 4-guard and 1 big offense? And if they have to change the way they like to play things and have to play the way Alabama likes to play things, that'll be a big key for the Tide. I think that's what I'm watching early in this game. Who blinks first, the Florida coaching staff or Alabama? I think Alabama could force the issue early on with their guard play in this game.
Yeah, I agree, Jim, and I think a big part of that is how well Rylan Griffin plays and the other guards, how well they shoot it. One thing we haven't seen in the last month of the season is Alabama's offense, which has spent the majority of the year as the nation's best. Now they're down to number 2, which is pretty respectable, but they have dropped a little bit. And one of the reasons why they haven't been quite as good, they've still been really good, but not quite as good, is because Nate Oates has had to go big because of the health situation of his guards. And what makes Alabama's offense so good is when they get in the lane, make the kick out, and then the extra pass. The extra pass over the last month have come to a non-shooter a lot of the time. And with Rylan Griffin out, with Latrell Wrightsell out, it's by necessity that was the case. So the majority of time that Alabama can spend with 4 shooters on the floor will help this team. But because of the offensive rebounding ability of Florida, Nate Oates is going to be looking at his guards to help out and rebound. And if they can't, he might have to go bigger.
Our starting lineups are presented by Walk-On Sports Bistro. You know, scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Always found at Walk-Ons, as well as the opportunity to dig into their mouth-watering menu items like Po' Boys Gumbo and Voodoo Shrimp. Plus, they've got those fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. You can find your nearest location or order online or in the app. It's Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win. Brian, the starting lineup for Alabama will have Mark Sears, Latrell Wrightsell, Aaron Estrada, the 3-guard look, and going with the bigger, hopefully strong front court of Grant Nelson and Nick Pringle.
Yeah, and it's so important for Grant Nelson to stay out of foul trouble. He's had a tendency to get in foul trouble the last handful of games of the season, which really complicates the rotation when you had a couple guys out with injury. Grant Nelson has spent the majority of the last week or so of the regular season in foul trouble. Needs to be smart. Nick Pringle's done a better job of that late in the season. Obviously, he and Mohamed Wagee struggled with foul trouble early, so important for Alabama to defend at a high level and do it without fouling.
Florida will counter with Zion Pullen, Walter Clayton Jr., Will Richard, all in the backcourt. Their front court, a good one as well, of Tyree Samuel and Micah Hanlockton, the 7-footer who had some foul trouble against Alabama, but a tough presence on the glass at better than 7 a game, and also a guy who contributes a little offensively at 6 per contest as well. Those are your starting lineups, again presented by Walk-On Sports Bistro, as we wrap up the Ford pregame show. Next up, the tip. Alabama and Florida, the quarterfinal round of the SEC men's basketball tournament, right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This has been the Ford pregame show. Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide basketball is also brought to you by Texaco. Proven unbeatable mileage. Texaco with Techron. Driving performance. BASF. We create chemistry. Auto Owners Insurance. Visit RollTide.com/auto owners to partner with an independent Alabama agent. And by Guthries, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Get ready, Alabama Crimson Tide basketball is next on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy, with only simple ingredients: water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar, or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect's not easy.
Looking for the perfect match?
Oh, yeah. Look at you.
Find a vehicle you'll love at the Toyota Ready, Set, Go event. Toyota, let's go places. Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $329 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through April 1st, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $36.28 to its signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
On your next trip to Tuscaloosa, check out the Residence Inn Tuscaloosa. Located along the banks of the Black Warrior River, our all-suite hotel is just a short drive from the University of Alabama in downtown Tuscaloosa. Our accommodations are ideal for any traveler, whether you're staying overnight or for an extended stay. Our hotel is devoted to giving Tide fans an amazing experience from start to finish, including a free football game day shuttle for guests. At Residence Inn Tuscaloosa, it's not just a room, it's a residence, and we're proud to be a preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. If you're looking for the best selection in Crimson Tide apparel, look no further than the Soup Store. The Soup Store is every Bama fan's ultimate destination for the hottest gear and accessories, with 3 great locations around campus to serve you: in Tuscaloosa on campus at the University Student Center, on the Strip in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, and on Bryant Drive. If you can't get to Tuscaloosa, shop the Soup Store online at soupstore.ua.edu. The Soup Store is a proud partner of Alabama Athletics.
Are you sick of pretending to like boring hard seltzers that leave you feeling bloated? Tired of drinking the same old light beer? No time to make a mixed drink with all those complicated ingredients? Then it's time for you to try something different. Beatbox is the official party punch of the University of Alabama. Packing the ABV punch, each Beatbox is bursting with delicious flavors. Beatbox is low sugar and resealable, so you can always take the party on the go. There ain't no party like a Beatbox party. Roll Tide. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or older.
The tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SEC Radio, there is complete coverage of every school in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See all for details at SiriusXM.com/SEC Sports.
Here we go. It's time for Alabama Crimson Tide basketball on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Baseline at 6. Stop. Fall away jumper. Bottom. The stop. The layup. Count it. And he is fouled. 3 seconds. 2 at 1. For the win. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Crimson Tide basketball is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage, the official smoked sausage of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Barkley GMC, Tuscaloosa's leader. Barkley makes it easy. Chick-fil-A, it's the little things that matter at Chick-fil-A. Texaco, proven unbeatable mileage. Texaco with Techron, driving performance. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Now, turn it up. It's game time.
So glad to have you with us here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. The Alabama Crimson Tide minutes away from taking on the Florida Gators. Across the way, Jim Dunaway has tracked down a former member of Nate Oates' staff. Pretty good head coach in his own right these days, Jimmy.
Hey, you want to know what a family affair it is with this Alabama basketball program. One of the guys that helped build this roster, Arkansas State head coach Brian Hodgson, is in the house tonight with his new family. First of all, from the Alabama family, congratulations on your growing family.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a blessing.
You just had a moment to yell something at Nate Oates. What brings you back here tonight? How close are you guys?
Man, Nate's my mentor. He's one of my best friends. He's like family to me, and I'm glad I could be here to support him today. We had one of our signees play a game here in Nashville today, so it worked out, and just not surprised by what he's done again this year.
Are you on the scout tonight?
No. He's got a phenomenal staff. I know they're ready to roll.
All right, man. Congratulations on your great year. Keep growing. A lot of Bama fans cheering for you, Brian. Thank you, man. Congratulations. Back over to you guys.
Jim, thank you so much. Brian Hodgson, a part of that original staff, along with Antoine Petway, Charlie Henry, that were with him the first 4 years. They all got Division I head coaching jobs after last year. Nate Oates with 3 new assistants, 9 new players, has Alabama right back in the mix of the SEC and national picture. We turn it over to the public address announcer here at Bridgestone Arena for our starting lineups.
Basketball tournament. It's time now for our starting lineups for our team. First, for the number 6 Florida Gators from Gainesville, Florida. At forward, a 6'10 senior from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Number 4, Tyrese Samuel. At guard, a 6'3 junior from Lake Wales, Florida. Number 1, Walter Clayton Jr. At guard, a 6'4 junior from Fairborn, Georgia. Number 5, Will Richard. At center, a 7'1 sophomore from Lake Norman, North Carolina. Number 3, Micah Hadlongton. And at guard, a 6'4 senior from Pleasant Hill, California. Number 0, Zion Poland. Head coach for the Gators, Coach Todd Golden. And now, the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At forward, a 6'11 senior from Devils Lake, North Dakota. Number 2, Grant Nelson. At forward, a 6'10 senior from Seabrook, South Carolina. Number 23, Nick Pringle. At guard, a 6'3 senior from Woodbury, New Jersey. Number 55, Aaron Estrada. At guard, a 6'3 senior from Omaha, Nebraska. Number 12, Latrell Wrightsell Jr. And at guard, a 6'1 senior from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. First team All-SEC. Number 1, Mark Sears. And the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Coach Nate Oates.
And thankfully, will be for quite a while after Athletic Director Greg Byrne announced today that an extension has been added on to the contract of Coach Oates. Great to see. More about that post-game when we hear from the coach. But, Brian, right now, Alabama is the highest remaining seed in this SEC tournament, with the top seed Tennessee and the number 2 seed Kentucky going down already on quarterfinal Saturday. Auburn, the only team of the top 4 that has won. Bama trying to join Texas A&M in the other semifinal bracket.
Yeah, the white uniforms in the SEC tournament have not fared well so far, so hopefully Alabama can change that against a really good Florida team. And this Alabama team coming into this tournament feeling better about themselves because of the win against Arkansas in comeback fashion against a talented Razorback team at home on Senior Day. And this Bama team has gotten the rest they needed. They've gotten a little more healthy. They had a pep in their step, a ton of energy this morning at shoot-around, and we are hopeful that that continues here tonight against the Gators.
Another veteran crew, Don Daly, Joe Lindsay, and our lead official, Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, working this one. The Gators wearing the road blue. Bama, the 3 seed, wearing the white uniforms, and they're the retro unis with the block A with the elephant through it, the old school logo on the shorts, but the Crimson Tide, new look in the jerseys up top. The ball goes in the air, and the tap is controlled by the Crimson Tide, and we are underway from here in Nashville. Estrada working against the Gator man-to-man. Goes left side with the dribble, takes it near the corner, stops, gives it back up top to Wrightsell. Latrell, a couple of dribbles and a feed to Nelson, far corner, tries a 3, no good, and the rebound is controlled by Pullen of the Gators. Here comes Florida the other direction. In a hurry, they'll drive left side, little floater is up, pops out, no good. Rebound cleared by Pringle, out the pass to Wrightsell. Latrell going down the far sideline, stops on the wing, feeds it to Estrada, drives right, bounce past Pringle, drives in, lays it up and in, and Alabama gets on the board first.
Took a little contact, but able to finish and glide with his left hand off the glass and gets the roll.
Crimson Tide with a 2-0 edge. Here come the Gators the other way with Clayton, their top scorer, throwing it into the low post to Samuel. Samuel trying to back his way down on Nelson, gets into the paint, spins to his right, jump hook, short, rebound, tipped out. Wrightsell will grab it, and Bama will start a 3-on-3. Wrightsell going to his right, got cut off, drives in anyway, plays it in, and Bama has the 4-0 edge.
The hesitation move from Latrell Wrightsell. The scout said he's going to pull up from the 3-point line, hesitated, and got to the rim.
Pulling, changing directions, going left, getting to the block, cut off, gives it up, into the floater is up, no good, rebound tip, controlled by Pringle. It was Estrada that knocked it loose from Handlocked, and here comes the Tide. Looking right side, Nelson gives it back to Reitzel. Gives it to Nelson, driving it off the glass and in. Played through contact. Bama makes it a 6-0 lead.
That's a couple times Alabama's gone with the pick and roll and been able to finish through contact. Alabama attacking the rim early in this game.
Gators with the basketball. They'll try a three from dead on. Missing again was Clayton, and Bama clears it. One and done on the offensive end for the Gators as Bama comes the other way. Estrada baseline, gets underneath, stops, looks, hands it off. Nelson lays it up and in. 8-0 Bama. Timeout Florida.
Alabama getting stops and turning that into offense. Going to the rim. Alabama known as a three-point shooting team, but has been attacking the basket, going right at the shot blockers of the Florida Gators. Playing through contact. Alabama has preached toughness in the week off. Nate Oates wants his team to be tougher on both ends of the floor, and we've seen that the first couple of minutes of this game.
Jim Dunaway, no time to go into the huddle with it being a 30, but to say it's rather spirited over there would be an understatement.
Extreme enthusiasm, and I agree with Brian. Everyone's expecting them to take those outside shots. They took it right into the teeth of that Florida defense, and that has juiced up this bench over here. An excited 30-second timeout for Alabama.
No question about that. Is the Tide able to get to the rim and now likely to open up some opportunities from beyond the arc as the Gators a bit shell-shocked. 2 minutes in, and they are already down by an 8-0 score. A long way from the finish line, though, as the Gators will bring it front court against the Alabama man-to-man. Samuel flips it over far side to Pullen. He'll try a three. He'll miss it badly. Rebound is tipped out of bounds. Touch last by the Gators. It was Samuel who had a hand on it, couldn't control it, and Bama will get it back as, again, the Tide doing a great job offensively, but also keeping the Gators off the glass.
And Alabama starts with a bigger lineup, but you got to have all 5 guys blocking out against the Gators, one of the top 5 offensive rebounding teams in college basketball.
Sears to Estrada on the left wing, drives to his right, gets into the paint. Pringle missed the dunk, and the rebound's controlled by Florida. Here comes Pullen the other way. Fires a pass left side, spot up three is good. In transition, Richard able to get the first points for the Gators. Bama missed at the rim. Florida pays off on the other end. It's an 8-3 game. Estrada shooting a three. Knocked it home a three. The first three of the game for Alabama, and the Tide leads it 11-3. Driving the other way, Samuel down the lane, runner no good. Ball tipped out, controlled by the Tide. Here comes Sears, working front court, working into the lane, working to the rim, loses the handle, scramble for it, and the Gators will pick it up. In transition the other way, it's Clayton. Driving left side, finger roll is up, and that's a tough move. 1 against 3 from Clayton to make it 11-5. Alabama with the ball and the lead. 16:50 to go opening half. It's Sears inside the arc. Circles back. Reitzel cut off. He'll drive into the lane. Stops, pops, can't drop the jumper, but they're going to call him for an offensive foul. Don Daly said he led with the forearm and gave a little room there, and great to see Rylan Griffin getting off the bench for Alabama and checking in early to replace Reitzel.
Well, I assumed Latrell Reitzel extended his arm, didn't have a great angle on it live, but after seeing the replay, very little contact, a tough call against Reitzel. Alabama, the previous possession, had Mark Sears going to the rim, didn't make a great decision, got up in the air, didn't have anywhere to go with it, and turned it over.
Pringle also out. Jaron Stevenson comes in to replace him for the Tide. Great to see Griffin on the floor for Alabama as Samuel picks up his dribble, flips it over at the timeline, far side Pullen. He'll work to the free throw line with the dribble alive. Working against Nelson. He stops 8 feet out, pivots, kicks it back outside to Clayton. Shot clock down to 7. Clayton rises, fires, misses badly on a three. Rebound to Griffin. Rylan bringing it ahead. Got bumped, hits the deck hard, but he'll hop up in a hurry. Seems to be just fine as the clock stops with 16:15 remaining in the opening half, and Alabama enjoying an 11-5 lead after Clayton was called for his first personal.
Alabama doing a great job on the defensive glass. Overall, out-rebounding the Gators here in the early going, 7-2.
Bama inbounding it to Sears out high, working between the circles. He gives it off. Griffin, catch and shoot three. That's off the mark. He was off balance as he shot that one, and the Gators come the other direction. It's Pullen stopping at the top of the arc. Finds Clayton, weaving his way into the lane. Floater from 12, no good, and a rebounding foul is going to be called on Grant Nelson on the box out. timeout on the floor. 16 minutes exactly remaining in the opening half here in Nashville. We've got an 11-5 score. Good guys on top here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Here at Payless Drugs, we continue to be just what the doctor ordered. We know getting the medicine you need is especially important during these unique times. And for your safety and convenience, we offer a drive-through at every location. Plus, we have prescription delivery and contactless pickup at all locations. Now's the time to take care of your immunization needs. Stop by any of our convenient locations today.
Just what the doctor ordered. Payless Drugs. Barkley makes it easy.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barclaygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
We're back in Nashville. Bama leads it early. 16 minutes to go in the first half. Bama 11. The Florida Gators 5. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download it now for free at the App Store and Google Play. Tom Stipe, Chris Stewart, Brian Pasick. We are courtside across the way. Our good friend filling in for Roger Hoover. It's Jim Dunaway.
Right now, Ryland's going to stay in the game. 44 seconds on that first use of his right side tires, if we can use a NASCAR term. Comes in for a quick pit stop during this timeout. They like what they're seeing, so he's going to stay in the game without coming out on that rehabbed right leg. Grant Nelson, by the way, was trying to tell the coaches he thought he was hooked when he got called for the foul, that it wasn't him that caused the contact. He thought it was the other guy. Back to you, Brian.
Well, Grant Nelson picks up his first foul. So important for him to stay out of foul trouble. Has had a tendency to get in foul trouble late in the season. His value so important to this Alabama team. And the win against Florida in Tuscaloosa a couple weeks ago, Grant Nelson led the way with 22 points. Did the job on the backboard, and with the height of Florida on the inside, important to have Grant in the game. He's a versatile defender, can guard the perimeter, can guard the post. He's one of the top 10 shot blockers in the SEC. So important to have him in the game. He'll get a quick break. Mohamed Wagi in. So far, Alabama's interior players and guards doing a good job defending and closing out those defensive possessions by rebounding the ball. Right now, out rebounding the Gators 7-4.
Pulling, inbounding it for Florida. They get it into the corner. They'll try to pivot away from trouble and work it out to the top of the arc. Condon now, and over to Pullen with a shot clock down to 10 seconds. Pullen working to get Sears. Offensive foul there. Great defense by Mark. One of the reasons why he is one of the SEC top players, first team all-conference.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a forearm, similar to the Latrell Wrightsell push-off. There wasn't much there. May have just extended the arm. Todd Golden not happy with the officials. Couple tough offensive foul calls on both sides.
I think that's why that one was called, is it had been whistled on Bama the previous trip or so. Here's Sears trying to drive left. Gets downhill. Gets into the lane. Puts up the runner. Short. Rebound fought for. They're going to get Wagi, I believe, for a foul. Muhammad was battling there with, I believe, Hanlogden. And they call Muhammad for the foul. Good hustle. Unfortunately, the whistle goes against Alabama there. And with 15:31 to go in the opening half, the Gators, down 6, will have the ball.
There's a nice move by Mark Sears, not able to finish. Took a little contact, was a little off balance as he went into his shooting motion.
Pulling, driving into the paint, circles away from trouble, gives it off to Condon. He'll drive, he'll go with an up and under move, spins again, hook is good. Nice move in the paint there by Condon, and here comes Bama the other way. Sears with the Tide leading at 11-7. Mark on the drive, kicks it over into the corner to Stevenson. Jaron will drive to his right, gets into the paint, gives it off to Griffin. Ryland working at the top of the circle, feeds it over to Sears again. Sears against Pullen with a shot clock, now down to 11. Sears crosses over, goes right, puts it up, off the glass and in. When he goes downhill, he is tough to stop.
Yeah, he's better to his left than his right, but was able to finish on the right side with his strong hand.
Condon with it, top of the arc, dribbles to his right, hands it off. No, now we'll give it off to Pullen, who spins away from trouble, stops at the elbow, gives it back to Condon in the paint. Spinning against Sears, he'll shoot it off the glass and in. Got way too deep. Sears said, somebody's got to help me. Here comes Bama running the other way. Estrada flips it to a trailer. That's going to be Sears now on the wing. 3, no good. Rebound tipped and run down to the corner by Wagee after Griffin had kept it alive and then knocked out of bounds by Florida. Give the ball back to the Crimson Tide with 17 to shoot, 14 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the half. And Reitzel, Nelson, and also Pringle all coming in with Wagee, Stevenson, and Estrada having a seat.
Mohamed Wagee will get credit for the offensive rebound, but it was the active hands of Rylan Griffin that tipped it to him and gives Alabama a second chance opportunity.
Bama inbounds the basketball. Handlocked and sitting down for the Gators as inside. A bad pass by Griffin, deflected and taken away by the Gators, and then they stepped. No, they didn't step on the sidelines. There was a deflection where the ball hit on the sidelines, touched by Reitzel.
Yeah, Reitzel, talking to the officials, felt like, yeah, he deflected it, but off of Kugel, it'll be Florida's ball. Alabama getting inside, and the decision-making hasn't been quite as good with the 7-foot shot blockers around the rim. Rylan Griffin turned it over in the last possession.
Here's Florida with the basketball. Condon top of the arc, driving to the elbow, lost it. I didn't think anybody touched him, but I guess they did. They're going to say it's going to be 2 shots, or they're going to say on the floor?
I was saying 2 on Latrell Reitzel as he reached in. He'll have to check out of the game. Aaron Estrada coming back in. A couple of tough fouls on Latrell. Got the offensive push-off foul. Not a ton of contact. Right there may have got the Gators on the wrist.
Gators inbound it to Richards. Sam Walters checking in for the Crimson Tide. The Florida native into the game as Florida will work it. Kugel driving, had it poked away and stolen. Here comes Estrada. Bama in transition. Estrada downhill. Nobody picked him up, and he missed the layup. And then the tip by Pringle wedges, and that will give possession to Florida on the jump ball. Boy, that is a wasted opportunity there for Alabama. Still leading at 13-9.
Well, you have Alex Condon at 6'11", close to 7 feet. Right there, Aaron Estrada was expecting him to come over and try to block the shot. It never happened, and Aaron missed the point-blank layup.
Gators with the basketball, far side, deep 3 is up, pops out, no good. Rebound claimed by Pringle, who's back in, and now it's Nelson who has it front court. Nelson will hand it off to Walters. Sam picks it up, gives it off to Sears. Mark playing off the screen from Pringle, goes right. Weaves, steps back beyond the arc. 15 on the shot clock now. Sears still with it. Gives it off to Walters. Catch and shoot 3, no good. Caught by Pringle. They're going to call a foul on Florida. They're going to call it on the Gators on the baseline. That'll be on Condon, and it will be an opportunity for Alabama to inbound side court after team foul number 3 is whistled on the orange and blue of Florida.
Alabama getting on the offensive glass. Sam Walters had 14 in the first matchup against Florida. A big reason why Alabama won that game. Had timely shots, timely threes off the bench. Not able to knock out that one.
Bama trying to inbound it. Deflected out of bounds by Condon. In possession will stay with the Crimson Tide.
Important for Alabama guards to get downhill and break Florida down off the dribble. Move the ball. This Florida team so good against the three-point shot if you don't move the defense.
Sears with it on the wing with 15 on the shot clock. Backs it out to the timeline. Attacking with 11. 10 off to Estrada on the baseline at 8. Into the paint at 6. Out in the corner to Nelson at 5. At 4. Nelson at 3. Sweeping hook at 2. Wow. Oh, mercy. George Mikan with the sweeping hook, giving Alabama a 15-9 lead.
That was well defended the entire shot clock by Florida, but just a big-time shot by Grant.
Down low, a foul whistled on Alabama. I'm not sure George Mikan's found on the internet. You have to pull out the old Encyclopedia Britannica to look that one up if you're not aware. But with 12:29 to go in the opening half, Bama up by 6, but at the stripe for the Gators will be Alex Condon, the 6'11 freshman from Perth, Australia.
How about instead of the 1950s reference, we'll go 1980s and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the sweeping
that much credit. We pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Free throw missed. Rebound claimed by Alabama. It was Walters who controlled it for the Crimson Tide. 15-10. Alabama with the ball in the lead over Florida here in the opening half, and a whistle away from the basketball. I think they're going to get Hout for the foul on Grant Nelson. Check that. Not on Hout. They say it's on Denzel Aberdeen for the Gators. His first, team fourth now on Florida. Bama's been whistled for 4 as well. Unfortunately, 2 of them on Latrell Reitzel. And a whistle before the ball's inbounded. They're going to call it on the Crimson Tide.
I got Mark Sears on a back screen. Alabama trying to run a play. Get a backdoor look from Grant Nelson. Mark Sears may have extended his arms. Was in pretty good position, may have pushed off just enough, and they've been calling those here in the early going.
15-10, Bama with the lead. Florida, though, with the basketball. Condon with it top of the arc. Dribbles right, hands it off to Clayton. Clayton zigging and zagging, gets into the paint, initiates contact, no whistle. Shot missed, rebounded by Pringle. Bama gives it off down to Sears. Mark into the front court, down the left side. Tried to cross over, got cut off. Gives it to Walters. Now to Sears again, driving to his right. Bounce pass inside. Pringle tried to throw it home. Hits off the back of the iron, and the ball goes to Florida. Here come the Gators the other way with Aberdeen. Aberdeen working into the paint. He'll put up a little teardrop, get it to go.
Alabama's now missed a wide open layup and a dunk. That was well executed. It was in traffic, but Nick Pringle not able to convert at point blank range.
Here's Sears with the basketball, driving to his right, got bumped, no whistle. Finally they do. Timeout on the floor, 11:26 to play first half. Bama, a 15-12 lead over Florida here in the quarterfinal game here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but great teams let their performance do the talking. Like the Ford F-150 truck with smart tech that'll help win the day and leave the competition speechless. That's why F-150 is the best-selling full-size pickup in Alabama. Greatness starts here. See your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Based on S&P Global Mobility Total, U.S. new vehicle registrations for the standard full-size pickup segment RYTD April 2023. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.
When you live in SEC country, you feel it everywhere you go. The traditions and rivalries surround you. As much as you celebrate the game, Regions celebrates your financial wins even more. And like SEC fans, we'll never quit. Because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
Bama's up 3, 15-12 over the Florida Gators. We are in Nashville, 11 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the first half. On your next trip to T-Town, stay at the Residence Inn located at the banks of the Black Warrior River. The All-Suite Hotel is just a short drive from campus and downtown, and ideal for any traveler, whether staying overnight or an extended stay. Residence Inn is not just a room, it's a residence, proud to be the preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide. Across the way, Jim Dunaway, what you hearing in the Bama huddle?
A good shift there from Sam Walters on the court. Out-jumped everybody on the floor for one big rebound. You'll get a continuing theme all night long in every timeout for Alabama, where they will encourage everybody to stay physical, stay physical, stay physical. That's the theme to start every huddle tonight. Stay physical down below. Reitzel will stay out as we come out of this timeout. He's been out now with that second foul for just over 2 minutes, Brian.
Yeah, picked up an offensive foul early, not a ton of contact, and then got caught on a reach-in. He's on the Alabama bench, and Natos typically will play his guards with 2 fouls, and I think it also depends how other guys step up and play. Latrell Reitzel, you know, he's excited to have a chance to play the Florida Gators. Didn't play in the first matchup, very limited in the second matchup, and now he's in foul trouble. Alabama's getting good looks. They've missed a wide-open layup. They've missed a dunk, but the shot quality at the rim has been good. This Florida team defends the three better than anybody in the SEC. Alabama, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country so far. Just one made three, and that was Aaron Estrada.
Alabama with the basketball. The aforementioned Mr. Estrada with it on the near wing. Dribbles to his right, takes it to the top of the arc, flips it over. Griffin, three, too strong. Rebound tipped out, high into the air. A fight for the loose ball, batted twice, but controlled by Florida. They'll work it, center of the lane, then a deflection by Stevenson. Tried to save it, but went out of bounds. Great hustle by the Bama freshman from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Alabama's missing some open shots. They're missing some layups and dunks, but the effort is there. The toughness, as Jim talked about, is there right now, out rebounding the Gators 12-7. Just one offensive board for the Gators, who's one of the best in the country in that.
Samuel with the basketball from the elbow, working against Stevenson, works into the block, spins, shoots, and scores as he got that one awfully low as well. 10:52 and ticking. It's a one-point game, 15-14. Alabama with the lead. Here is Sears with it, crossing over. A bounce pass going to the big fella, and Grant Nelson throws it home.
Alabama didn't miss that dunk. The high pick and roll, beautiful pass from Mark Sears, and all by himself, Grant Nelson throws it down with two hands.
Bama getting to the rim pretty effectively as the three from Clayton is good, and we are tied at 17. First tie since the beginning of the ball game. We're midway through the first half here. 10:18 to go, as now it'll be Stevenson for three, bottom. Jaron Stevenson, when he gets his feet set, I'm not so sure he's not as good as anybody from bank first three-point range.
Nice kick out from Aaron Estrada to a wide open Jaron Stevenson.
Clayton can't answer, missed it, rebound fought for, and it goes out of bounds, touched last by the Gators. And a conversation that ends quickly. It's off Aberdeen. It'll be Bama ball. Sears getting a breather. And here comes Latrell Reitzel back in with the two fouls.
Had Aaron Estrada, Grant Nelson battling for that defensive rebound. When you play the Gators, you got to have five guys all battling for the defensive board. So far, Alabama's doing a nice job of that.
Bama led it 8-0 early. We were tied at 17. Now it's 20-17 Bama. Nelson driving left side, getting into the paint, had his shot attempt blocked. Here come the Gators the other way. Picking it up will be Houck. He'll give it off now near side plate. He'll drive down the lane, lost it out of bounds. That's going to be, they say, Florida basketball.
Grant Nelson on the offensive end tried to pick up the foul. It was a great defensive play by Tyrese Samuel. A lot of body contact, but got it clean up high. That started the Gators' fast break.
When Nelson started his drive, the replay showed Samuel had his hand around his throat. Good night. Working between the circles, Aberdeen throws it over left side to Kugel. Kugel off the screen from Samuel, goes top of the arc, now goes down the lane, got away with a push-off, and will lay it in for two. 20-19, Bama leading it by one with 9:15 to go in the opening half. Reitzel to Estrada. Estrada trying to spin away from traffic. Gets to the low block, throws it right corner. Griffin, open three, no good. Weak side rebound claimed by the Gators. It's Clayton coming the other way. Clayton into the front court. Poked away and stolen by Estrada. Estrada to Nelson. Back to Aaron, who will bring it front court. Estrada at the timeline. Estrada walking it up to the arc. Feeds it off to Reitzel. Inside the arc, down the lane, off the glass and in.
Great play by Latrell Reitzel. Went off his wrong foot. Didn't allow the shot blocker in Samuel to time up his jump. And Reitzel able to finish at the rim.
Samuel to Kugel. Kugel left side, stopping, looking, keeping the dribble alive, working it to the top of the arc. Houck, his three is up. It's wide left, but the long rebound comes out to Kugel. Kugel trying to back his way down against Estrada. Back out to Kugel. He'll drive down the lane. It's up, it's blocked, but back into the hands of the Gators, laid in by Samuel for two.
Very close to a goaltend, but it went right back to the Florida Gators for an easy putback.
22-21. Alabama with the ball in the lead. Latrell Reitzel in the corner to Nelson. 0 for 3. That one's short. It bounces off the rim, the top of the glass, and out of bounds. It'll belong to Florida when we return. 22-21. Alabama still leading Florida here at the 8-minute mark exactly of the first half in Nashville on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Tonight's radio affiliate of the game, Win 98.5 Dixie Country, WINL in Linden. Go to the Crimson Tide Sports Network's Facebook page, follow us, and tell us where you're listening for a chance to win 2 free combo meals from Jack's. Thank you for tuning in to the Crimson Tide Sports Network for Alabama basketball. We are in Nashville. Bama's up 1, 22-21. 8 minutes to go in the first half, and Jim Dunaway's in the Bama huddle.
Hey, I'll tell you this, a lot of excitement for Stevenson, the way he hustled and saved that out-of-bounds play a few moments ago. 10 photographers over here. When Stevenson got through diving out of bounds, he was left with that dreaded 7-10 split. Everybody was okay over here. Keep an eye. We're playing on the surface, above the ice surface of the Predators. I've seen Estrada slip twice, Griffin once. Brian Passing, I know over the years you may have played on an ice surface before like this, one below the court. Does it occasionally get moist? Does it get slippery out there occasionally?
Yeah, it can, and it's something to pay attention to, and Alabama has done a great job moving their feet and defending. Hopefully that'll continue. Right now, the Gators shooting 39%, 9 for 23. And one of the reasons they were able to get past a feisty Georgia Bulldog team last night is because Georgia did a great job on the defensive glass almost the entire night until about 10 minutes to go in the second half, and Florida took over on the offensive backboard. And just the last couple of possessions, Florida has had 3 offensive rebounds in 2 trips and able to score both times. Alabama's getting good looks, but I love the effort, the toughness. Alabama's postseason shooting shirts say Bama Energy, and this Alabama team has had a ton of energy here in the early going. Maybe some guys a little too hyped up. We've seen some wide open threes miss long.
Gators with the basketball, front court to our right. Samuel will hand it off to Pullen. Pullen surveying the floor, dribbling right, going left now off the screen. Stops, looks, back top of the arc to Kugel. 8 on the shot clock as they come near side. Samuel trying to back his way down against Pringle. Throws it up with the left hand, no good. A bad shot, rebounded nicely by the Tide. Now Nelson pushes it front court. Taking it to the right wing. Now goes to his left. Gives it up to Sears, who got fouled. That's a break for Alabama because Nelson was trying to make the pass with the offhand. It looked like it slipped, and he just kind of shoved it in the direction of Sears. That caught the Florida player off balance, who commits the foul.
Well, it's a turnover if Sears doesn't meet the ball aggressively. It was the right idea, not well executed, but Mark Sears able to save the possession.
Sears with it with 20 to shoot, 7:22 to go in the half. Bama leading 22-21. Pringle on the left wing for the Tide. A couple of dribbles and a handoff to Estrada. Left alone, 3, bottom. Boy, he looks good shooting it so far.
Yeah, and he struggled from the three-point line in conference play, just 26%. But it's good to have rested legs with the week off, and he's knocked down a couple.
Pullen plays off of a seal. He had a wide open path. Nate Oates in the ear of Joe Lindsey. Thought a foul should have been called on the Gators, but we're back now to a 2-point game. Sears driving down the lane, gets into the paint, spins, looks outside to Reitzel. Latrell going baseline. Flips it out to Pringle, who then gets it to Reitzel again in the corner. Plenty of time on the shot clock. It's at 10. Reitzel, though, down the lane and off the glass for 2. They can't keep up with the Bama guards.
Well, the 7-footer got matched up on him, and quickness won on that possession as Latrell Reitzel able to finish over on handlocked it.
Bama by 4. Kugel fall-away jumper short. Rebound claimed by Sears. Tried to throw it ahead, but it was stolen by Pullen. Pullen pulling up from 8 feet. Shot is good. Bama gave one away there. Mark Sears taps his chest, says, my fault. 27-25, Bama with the ball in a 2-point lead. 6:11 remaining opening half in Nashville. Sears, top of the arc, takes it to the timeline left side. Backs it out, goes to his right. Bounce pass to Nelson. Driving in the lane, pump fake, handoff. The flush from Nick Pringle on the assist from Grant Nelson.
The patience of Grant Nelson, let the double team come, flips it over to his teammate, and gets a dunk.
Sears just committed his second foul, a no-doubter. Tough start for Mark. He's only got 2 points. He's got 3 turnovers, and he's now got 2 fouls as well. 2 assists and 2 rebounds in his 12 minutes. But he'll go to the bench, or will he? Looks like Nate's going to stay with him for a moment. After he just picked up his second, you got both Sears and Reitzel on the floor with 2 fouls each and a 1-and-1 upcoming for the Gators.
Nate Oates trusts his guards to play with 2 fouls. Now he may bring him over, talk to him, give him a little bit of a blow, but the veteran Mark Sears, he understands the situation that he's got to continue to be aggressive, but do it without fouling.
Pullen hits the front end of a 1-and-1. Second make on 3 tries for the Gators from the stripe. Bama's not attempted a free throw as of yet. Second free throw up and good as well, and the Bama lead is down to 2 again. 29-27, 5:50 remaining in the half. Sears bring the ball front court, works from the left wing, drives left, stops, goes right, gets into the paint, stops, reverse layup with the left hand is good. What a move, Mark Sears.
We've seen some no-look passes. That was a no-look shot as he turned his back, flips it up with the left hand, knew exactly where the rim was, knocks it down.
Gators working it into the front court. Pullen fires the pass with the left hand. Clayton, far wing 3, drops it in. Reitzel late getting over there, and it's a 1-point game. 31-30, Alabama leading with 5:17 remaining in the half. Here's Sears with it for Alabama. Mark going to his left, behind the back with the dribble. Shoots a deep 3, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Florida, and the Gators will come the other way, looking for their first lead of the night. It's Clayton, top of the arc. Throws a backdoor look to Richard, puts it up, no good. Rebound fought for, tipped into the hands of Sears. Mark running the other way, leaves it for the trailer. Estrada, deep 3, no good. In the rebound control by Clayton of Florida.
Good look by Aaron Estrada in rhythm, just a little strong with it.
Gators go to Clayton near side. Don't foul him, Mark. Clayton drives in, and the foul's going to be called on Grant Nelson. A little bump right there, and that's going to be his second foul as well. 4:42 on the game clock here in the opening half. 31-30, Alabama leading Florida, but 2 shots upcoming for Clayton to try and change that for Florida.
Walter Clayton's one of the best free throw shooters in the SEC, well over 80%. Don't want to see him hit the line as he knocks down the first, but this Florida team missed 18 free throws in the game last night against Georgia. Most of that was Tyrese Samuel. He missed 12 himself, but figured Florida would get it straightened out from the line, and that appears to be the case.
Both free throws good, and Florida has its first lead of the opening half as Rylan Griffin is checked in, replacing Grant Nelson. The Florida faithful that are here making some noise with 4:35 to go first half. Sears far side, driving right, getting downhill, stepping through, had it knocked away, couldn't get it back, and the Gators control. It's Condon with the basketball. Condon working front court, stopping at the timeline, now taking it center of the floor. Looking, picks up his dribble, feeds it off to Clayton. Clayton going to his right, switching back left, goes down the lane, lost the handle into the hands of Condon, laid it up and in for 2. Bama rested for a moment when the ball got knocked loose, and the Gators now lead by 3. Bama basketball. Estrada over to Reitzel. Latrell on the drive. Hesitates. Goes into the paint. Gives it out to Griffin. Rylan circling away from trouble. Has it near wing. Takes it into the paint. Puts it up with a right hand. It wouldn't go as it pops out, and the rebound is controlled by Houck of Florida. The Gators want to run. Front court, it's Pullen. Letting traffic go by. Left alone. Shoots a 3. Hits it. And Nate Oates wants a timeout. Florida, with a 10-0 run in the last 2 minutes, has taken a 37-31 lead. Timeout on the floor, 3:40 to go here in Nashville as the Gators are on top on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime, but they game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Nick Pringle.
And I'm Loyal McQueen.
Winter is a time for excitement of Crimson Tide basketball, but it is also when viruses that cause respiratory diseases are more rapid into our community.
Vaccination is important for everyone, and especially for those who are at higher risk of developing complications, including older Americans and those with medical conditions.
Make sure you and your family are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19, flu, and RSV. So don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/immunization today. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Florida's up 37-31, 3:40 to go in the first half here in Nashville. Stay with us at the half for the Toyota halftime report with first half stats, scores from around the SEC, and a quick chat from Coach Nate Oates, presented by the Cook's Pest Control. Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon system, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. Bama's down 6 now. Jim Dunaway across the way. What are you hearing in the huddle?
The first part of the huddle was about defense. And as the Gators get deep into the clock, switching and staying aggressive defensively and finding your guy and continuing to be big defensively. Meanwhile, injury update, Stevenson, when he did go into those photographers, when he's ever back on the court again, you'll notice a bandage right below his right knee, a little cut on his shin, nothing serious, but they did have to stop the bleeding and put a white bandage on there. So he's ready to check back in whenever Nate Oates calls his name. Nothing serious, but he will be playing with a bandage.
Well, and it's great to see Rylan Griffin looking good. Now, he's 0 for 4. He's missed some open shots, and he looks energetic. He looks good. He's moving around great. Just he's been a little off on his shot with that time off. It's understandable, but that's good news for Alabama. And right now it's about defense, as Jim talked about, and keeping the Florida guards in front. Walter Clayton Jr., Zion Pullen, those guys do a really good job of breaking you down off the dribble and finding open teammates. It also causes scramble situations, not able to get blockouts. Florida's knocking down shots. Pullen and Clayton starting to play well, and they're getting on the offensive glass. Alabama's had some good looks, not able to convert. And Mark Sears, he's got 4 points, 2 for 6 from the field, couple of turnovers, couple fouls. You got 3 Alabama players right now with 2 fouls. Latrell Reitzel, Mark Sears, and Grant Nelson, who's on the Alabama bench.
Important to play these last 3.5, not letting the lead add on and not adding to the foul total either for a couple of key guys. Here is Griffin with the basketball, working between the circles, trying to go man-to-man against Condon. He'll work to his right. He'll get into the paint. Pump fake once, pivots, throws it outside. Mark on the right wing, gets downhill, stops, spins, will throw it up off the glass. No. Ball claimed by Pringle, and then a foul's going to be whistled on Florida. Relentless effort on the part of the Crimson Tide, if not perfect execution on their way to the rack.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Sears is trying to draw contact, trying to get a foul called, and they're letting him play on the inside. And right now he's forcing up some difficult shots. Nick Pringle getting on the offensive glass, great hustle play, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, you better bring x-rays or a police report if you want to get a whistle right now. It is physical on both ends. 3:12 time left in this first half. Nick Pringle, the first of 2, is no good.
Well, you say that. Alabama's got 3 guys with 2 fouls.
Right. You're right.
And foul trouble is hurting the Crimson Tide right now. And a big reason why is out of position, letting guys get in the paint. The dribble penetration is Zion Pullen, Walter Clayton hurting Alabama.
Pringle has the second one, rim out, no good. So 0 for 2 on that trip, and Alabama's struggles continue. A 10-0 run continues over the last 10.5 minutes for the Gators. Hopefully they won't add to that number. Hauk with the basketball out high, defended tightly by Griffin. Thankfully didn't call Ryland for a foul, as now the Gators give it off to Pullen. 11 to shoot, 10. Pullen between the circles at 8, calling for a screen at 6, gets it at 5, knocks a man to the deck, but they're going to say that Griffin is the one that committed the foul. Brian, did he not get tripped?
I thought he got pushed in to Zion Pullen, and that'll send Florida back to the line. One of the best free throw shooters in the SEC, and Zion Pullen for a 1-and-1. And It has been a while since Alabama has scored a 10-0 run over the last almost 3 minutes for Florida. A chance to add to that. Bama hasn't scored in 3.
So Pullen shooting the front end of a 1-and-1 and knocking it down. Pullen out of Pleasant Hill, California, played at UC Riverside before transferring to the Gators. First team all SEC. And he hits them both. And he'll exit. As coming in to replace him will be Riley Kugel. Bama basketball, but an 8-point deficit after Bama led by 8 to start the game. Sears got tackled, literally. Both arms wrapped around him by Kugel. Good night.
And they're going to discuss whether that's on the floor or 2-shot foul. Aggressive move by Mark Sears, recognizing an angle to the basket. And I think it will be 2 shots coming up for Mark Sears. Hopefully this will get him going. Alabama, the best free throw shooting team in the SEC, has only been there twice here in the first half. And 0 for 2, and the trend continues at the line.
I'm glad he's at the stripe. I have every bit of confidence he'll make this next one as we see Jaron Stevenson come in to replace Nick Pringle. At the same time, I'm still not really sure how that was a shooting foul when his arms never got above his waist. He was wrapped up. He didn't get a chance to go into the shooting motion. He got tackled.
Well, we'll take it.
No doubt.
That would have been a 1-and-1.
God, he missed them both. Oh, and now you're going to have Sam Walters guilty of an unintentional foul that sent the Gators to the deck. Hout got spun around and hit the floor hard, and Bama's become their own worst enemy here in the last few moments. Missing free throws after missing some layups earlier in sending a very good Florida team to the free throw line where they're 7 of 8 so far in the ball game. Bama's 0 for 4. Hout hits the freebie. His first point of the game to go with his 5 rebounds off the bench in only 8 minutes of work.
As I mentioned, Florida misses 18 free throws last night against Georgia. 8 for 9. Finally missed one. And Alabama, the best free throw shooting team in the SEC, 0 for 4.
Hout, 1 of 2 at the stripe. Here's Sears driving, leaving it for Stevenson. All alone, 3. That one rims out. Bama can't buy one. Scoring drought over the last 3.5 minutes. The Gators, a 13-0 run during that stretch. Florida on the far side with the basketball. They'll throw a lob down low, and they threw it out the back door. That was trying to throw a lob pass to a guy who doesn't jump great with 3 guys on him. Other than that, it was a great idea. 2:14 remains in this first half. Alabama down only 9. Sears with the basketball. Working against Hout, driving to his left, gets downhill, goes up strong, couldn't get it to go. Rebound claimed by Condon on the weak side for Florida. They throw it ahead to Richard, drives in, lays it up and in. Reitzel couldn't challenge, didn't want to get his 3rd foul, and with 1:50 to go in the half, Bama, which led 8-0 to start the game, now trails 11. Somebody needs to make one. Reitzel gives it off to Stevenson, driving, got cut off, had it knocked away out of bounds, such last by the Gators.
Alabama out of sorts on the offensive end. Florida, a really good defensive team utilizing their length, and Mark Sears getting some looks that he normally knocks down, but Bama struggling mightily on the offensive end.
Inbounding it, Estrada to Walters. Somebody make a shot. Sears crossing over, going right. Sears stepping back beyond the arc. 10 on the shot clock, gets into the paint, drives, hands it off Stevenson, lost it, batted around, picked up by Florida. Here come the Gators the other way. In the front court, it'll be Clayton. Going down the lane, had it stripped, and a reaching foul is going to be whistled on the Crimson Tide, and Clayton will get 2 shots. Pringle and Griffin are going to come in for the Tide after the first of 2 shots upcoming for Clayton. Bama whistled for 11 fouls this half, and Florida has been called for 8.
Well, this Florida team, better than their numbers indicate on the defensive end. They have forced Alabama into some tough shots, gotten some deflections, created turnovers. And now a 16-0 run over the last 4 minutes for the Gators after that made free throw.
Second attempt up. Second one good as well. The Gators now 10 of 12 from the free throw line this half. Bama 0 for 4. Here's Sears front court. Gives it off to Estrada. Estrada down the lane. Stops, shoots, and scores. And hallelujah, the lid has been lifted, we hope. Back to an 11-point game with a minute to go in the half. Gators with the basketball on the 44-33 edge. Florida with it, far side. They'll drive, has a pass deflected. Hout picks it up, though, and gives it out to Clayton. Clayton looking, gives it back to Hout. Hout pivots, drives, goes down the lane. Runner is off the glass and in. Took it right at Griffin and was able to score, and the lead's at 13 again for Florida with 42 seconds remaining in the half. Reitzel, leaner off the glass, no. Rebounded by Houck, and the Gators will push it ahead. They'll drive, they'll lose the handle, but it's picked up by Condon. Condon will stop on the side, looks, flips it outside, and controlling it is Clayton. Clayton playing off the screen, trying to go downhill, throws a backdoor look to Richard, who fires it down. 15-point Florida lead. Bama will hold it for the final shot. 21-2 in the last 5 minutes. Florida's outscored Alabama. Sears trying to work away from Kugel. Sears going to the lane. Flips it to Pringle. Spins, shoots, misses, half ends, and hallelujah, it's finally over. Rough half to say the least. Grenade Oates and the Crimson Tide. Jim Dunaway making his way to the Alabama coach, who will join Jim now.
Coach, what changed in the last 10 minutes of that first half from your point of view?
It's an energy change. You know, we had a few shots didn't drop, and then we quit playing hard on D. Our effort, we tracked the blue collar points. We won the first 2 4-minute wars. We've lost the last 3. We just got to change our whole energy. Like, stuff's not going to go great every possession now, but you got to play hard every possession.
We'll see you in the second half, guys.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. They bring us Coach Nate Oates at the half. Wow, after an 8-0 start to the game, the final 10 minutes, all Florida. They lead it 48-33 at intermission on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you say roll tide instead of hello? See elephants in the clouds? Never wear blue and orange together? If so, there's no better way to show your Crimson Tide pride than with the University of Alabama Regions Visa debit card and prepaid Regions Now card. As passionate as you are about Bama, Regions is even more passionate about celebrating your every financial win and helping you plan for the next one. To order your card, visit regions.com/GoBama. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees apply.
We've all been caught up in the little chores that pile up every day. The dishes in the sink, the trash that needs taking out, the pesky check engine. A little change can go a long way when you escape every day at Wind Creek Casino and on the Casinoverse app.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Got Conecuh sausage and I'm firing it up, yeah. Everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, and everybody knows. That's how I get my grill on. Conecuh sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Coleman Coliseum gives the Tide a big home court advantage. When it comes to your home, count on Tri-Green Equipment to give you a big tried-and-true advantage with our lineup of John Deere equipment. From riding mowers, compact utility tractors, gators, to large agricultural equipment, they've got serious game. Plus, the tried-and-true Tri-Green team is always there when you need an assist. Stop by one of our locations or visit TriGreenEquipment.com. Proud sponsors of Alabama Crimson Tide basketball.
Crimson Tide Basketball is brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Take a taste. Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. And by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Now, on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the Toyota Halftime Report. Toyota, visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, a 21-2 run for the Florida Gators over the final 5.5 minutes of our first half of play has resulted in Alabama going from up 8-0 to start the game to down 15 at intermission, 48-33. Bama only one of its last 10 from the field. We take a look at our Toyota halftime report and invite you to visit your local Toyota dealer or explore Toyota.com today. Take advantage of the amazing deals on our full line of vehicles. And no matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. Florida getting 12 points from Walter Clayton, 11 from Zion Pullen, 4 from Tyrese Samuel, 7 from Will Richard. Riley Kugel had 2, 7 also from Alex Condon. Thomas Houck had 3, and Denzel Aberdeen had a pair, but Alabama got 8 from Grant Nelson, 4 each from Pringle and Sears, 6 from Reitzel, Estrada with 8, 3 from Jaron Stevenson, Sam Walters, Muhammad Wagi, Ryland Griffin all played, did not score for Alabama in the opening half. The Tide did get 7 rebounds from Pringle, but unfortunately 2 fouls each on Reitzel, Sears, and Nelson limited their effectiveness and minutes in the opening half of play. 48-33, Florida leading at intermission. We got more coming up. Stay with us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Alabama. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the university and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the university.
This is Tom Steib with the Alabama Power Scoreboard Update. Alabama Power for a better Alabama. Halftime score from Nashville. Bama trails Florida 48-33. 3 of the 4 semifinal slots are set with the finals already in the books today in the top half of the bracket. SEC, Mississippi State upset number 1 seed Tennessee 73-56, and they'll face 9 seed Mississippi State this afternoon's winner over top seed Tennessee 73-56. In the bottom half, 7 seed Texas A&M upsets the 2nd seed Kentucky 97-87. So the Texas Aggies will face the winner of our game. Bama trying to avoid the same fate, again trailing Florida 48-33. We'll take a look at team stats next. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Nick Pringle.
And I'm Loyal McQueen.
Winter is a time for excitement of Crimson Tide basketball, but it is also when viruses that cause respiratory diseases are more rapid into our community.
Vaccination is important for everyone, and especially for those who are at higher risk of developing complications, including older Americans and those with medical conditions.
Make sure you and your family are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19, flu, and RSV. So don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/immunization today. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Southern homes are particularly vulnerable to termites. In this climate, you need guaranteed protection. You need Cook's Pest Control and Centricon. Termites attack the Centricon stations, exposing themselves to an agent that eliminates their entire colony. Upgrade from old-fashioned liquid service to the proven protection of Centricon and Cook's Pest Control. Call Cook's today for a free evaluation.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy, with only simple ingredients: water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar, or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect, not easy.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
When you live in SEC country, you feel it everywhere you go. The traditions and rivalries surround you. As much as you celebrate the game, Region celebrates your financial wins even more. And like SEC fans, we'll never quit. Because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
For the Tide, a couple of dribbles and a handoff to Estrada. Left alone, 3, bottom. Boy, he looks good shooting it so far.
Bama trails Florida at the half, 48-33. And the sounds of the game are presented by Beatbox, the original party punch with 9 delicious flavors and non-carbonated and resealable. Be the MVP of your next game day tailgate with Beatbox. Halftime stats are delivered by Assurance Financial. In less time than halftime, you can apply for a mortgage at AssuranceMortgage.com. Shooting percentage, Bama 42% overall, 25 from Bank First 3 land, 0 of 4 from the foul line for Florida, 48% overall, 40 outside the arc, 10 of 12 from the stripe. Team rebounding, Bama leads at 22-18. Turnovers, Bama with 6. Gators with 4. Again, at the half, Bama trails Florida 48-33. And that does it for the Toyota Halftime Report. Second half's coming right up. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year and had chemo and radiation at DCH's Lewis and Faye Madison Cancer Center. I'm thankful for the support of my nurse Kate, my breast navigator Katrina, my doctors, and the whole staff. I have felt confident like I was the most important person there, before, during, and after. Tuscaloosa is blessed to have such an excellent team at the Madison Cancer Center.
Great things are happening at DCH.
Barkley makes it easy.
Get
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barclaygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi Mom, it's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This has been the Toyota Halftime Report. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. The second half is just moments away. Roll Tide.
What to look for in the second half is presented by Marathon. Marathon is here to keep you and your team fueled on and off the court because we're driven together. Bama trails it big, 48-33 at the half to the Florida Gators. Tom Stike, Chris Stewart, Brian Passett, Jim Dunaway here in Nashville. BP, good start. Horrible finish. What are we going to do to turn it around?
Well, the first 5 minutes so important when you're down like this. Alabama needs to get stops. The Florida guards had their way the last 5-6 minutes of the first half, able to extend this lead out to 15. It was a great start for Alabama, up 8-0, missing some shots, but the energy level was through the roof, and we talked about it. The first 10 minutes, Alabama came out, they were fired up, and sometimes when you're really high and some bad things happen, it can affect you, and we saw that the last 10 minutes, especially the last 5 minutes of the first half, where Florida went on a 21-2 run. And first of all, need Mark Sears to be Mark Sears. He's the first team All-SEC point guard, second team All-American, and he struggled in the first half. You got to give Florida a lot of credit. Their guards have been able to contain him, but Mark did some things he doesn't normally do. One of the best free throw shooters in the Southeastern Conference, well over 80%, goes 0 for 2, missed some looks from 3 that he normally makes. This Florida team, so solid on the perimeter. Alabama's got to do a good job of keeping Zion Pullen, Walter Clayton in front and get out and defend the 3 when Will Richard gets it. All 3 of those guys can score. The length of the interior of Florida bothered Alabama. The body language looked completely different in the first 10 minutes than it did the second 10 minutes of the first half. Alabama's energy needs to be high to start this second half. It needs to continue. First 5 minutes, always important, but especially when you're down big.
Brian, as that group huddles, all seniors. Now, they've only played together. Only 2 of them have played together for a year. The rest are in their first season and possibly only season in Tuscaloosa. But it is a veteran group, and they just huddled up and said, we got work to do, and they do indeed, but they get the ball first to begin the second half, and Nate Oates notorious for drawing up something really good to begin things to start a half. It'll be Nelson with it, top of the arc. Pivots, flips it over, and a foul's immediately called on Samuel, who got him on the arm, and on Samuel, that'll be his first. It'll be the team first on the Gators.
It sounds simple. Alabama needs to make some shots. They have struggled from deep in the first 2 games against the Gators and struggled in the first half.
Estrada with the basketball on the inbounds. Gets it underneath. Pringle shot into the bottom of the rim. He got challenged on that one. Couldn't get it to go and didn't get a whistle. Now here come the Gators the other way. Pulling with the basketball, throws it down low to Samuel. Samuel trying to back his way down against Nelson. Gets into the lane, spins twice, shoots, and gets it to roll over the rim for 2. 17-point lead, 50-33. Bama with the basketball, and Nelson gets fouled by Samuel again. 2 on Samuel. And Bama determined to get it inside and see if they can get something good to happen, as it did in the early moments.
Pretty well defended by Grant Nelson, but just giving too much size and bulk on Tyrese Samuels, 6'10", 240 pounds, able to muscle it up and in.
Bama, Estrada, 3, short, rebound, claimed by Estrada, then taken back away by Florida. Here come the Gators the other direction. Pulling on the drive, getting into the paint, stopping, shooting, and getting the friendly roll. And the lead is at 19 for Florida.
Florida getting it right where they want. Back-to-back shots at point-blank range using their strength to finish.
Sears to Pringle. Pringle, a dribble, a pickup, a handoff to Nelson. Grant on the drive, getting into the lane, hands it off to Estrada. Estrada in the lane, now backing it, working to the corner, giving it off to Sears. Mark will drive, gets to the rim, off the glass and in. Bama cutting it to 17, 52-35 with 18:35 to go.
Challenged the 7-footer, took it right into his chest. Need Mark Sears to get going in this game on the offensive end.
Samuel with a bucket after Sears gets to 6 points total for the contest. Here's Clayton the other way, throwing a lob. It rolls off, no good. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass. Neither worked, and here comes Bama the other way. Sears on the drive, getting to Nelson, who couldn't handle the pass, lost it, taken away by Handlogden, and here comes Clayton the other way. Clayton going across the lane, flips it over to the side, gets it deflected back into his hand, gives it off to Richard, and now to Pullen. Pullen throwing it low post to Samuel. Samuel working against Pringle, backing his way down, spinning, shooting, and scoring. 19-point lead again, 54-35 with 17:48 remaining. Pringle going down the lane, got hacked and will go to the line to shoot a pair as Handlogden got him across the face.
Alabama not able to get stops here early in the second half. Critical to get back in this game. The Gators 3 for 4 from the field. Amazing the difference in the last 2 nights. Florida could not make a free throw against the Georgia Bulldogs. They missed 18 from the stripe in that game. Alabama comes in as the SEC's best free throw shooting team at just under 80%. And has not made a free throw in this game. 0 for 4. Nick Pringle at the line for 2.
He missed 2 earlier. Sears also missed 2. Pringle hits the first there. Got it to drop. He'll have another one upcoming, and it's 54-36. Again, Bama led this one 8-0 and did not trail until we got around the 6-minute mark of the first half. But then it was all Florida down the stretch. Pringle's second attempt is up. That one is perfect as well. And it's back down to 17, 54-37. Gators with the basketball. Pulling, goes left side to Richard. Richard looking low, gives it off to Samuel. Samuel spinning, backing it down into the paint against Nelson. Shot is up, it would go, but they'll call Nelson for the foul. Nate Oates not happy, and I think he's unhappy with Grant Nelson. And that'll be the third on Grant. And here comes Mohamed Diabate, seeing his first action of the game.
Grant Nelson trying to play physical inside. Did a good job of moving his feet, using position. May have taken one step towards Samuel at the end, forcing the foul call.
Free throw up and good by Samuel, and the Gators now 11 of 13 from the stripe. Pringle will sit down, and Diabate comes in to replace him, freshman for the Bronx. Nate Oates not happy with Nick and sharing that displeasure as he comes to the bench. Samuel eyeing the basket, shooting, and making another one. It was all Bama at the start. It's been all Gators since. Bama hoping to change that. Reitzel fakes a 3, drives, throws it to Nelson, back to Reitzel. Near side 3, no good. Short on the attempt, rebound cleared by the Gators. First open look Reitzel has gotten in a while and couldn't get it to go. Clayton, a bounce pass to the big man who fires it home. Samuel, another flush in the lead. It's largest at 21. Sears running the other way. Got fouled. A reach in on Hanlogden. Stops the clock with 17:01 left to play in this ball game.
Listen, Alabama hopefully can make some shots, get Mark Sears going, but none of that matters if you can't get stops. And Alabama has not been able to get stops since about the 6-minute mark in the first half. And after regrouping at halftime, and the focus, is on the defensive end. And the Gators come out 4 for 5 from the field, everything at point-blank range. Alabama has had issues with defense all year long, and that's been the case here in this game.
First free throw up and good by Sears. He'll have another attempt upcoming. Only 3 bank first three-pointers on 14 tries for Alabama. Florida's made 4 of 10. Sears hits both freebies. And with 17 minutes to play, Bama's to within 19. Trying to get it started on the defensive end. Pullen brings it ahead for Florida. Picks up his dribble. Needs help. Gets it from Hanlogden. He'll dribble right. He'll dribble left. He'll give it to Pullen again. They throw it low post to Samuel. Posting up on Diabate. They throw it inside. Hanlogden lays it up. Missed it. Rebounded by Nelson. Hands it off to Sears. Bama coming the other way. Sears going downhill. Sears had it poked away. Got it back. Sears circles back to Nelson in the corner. He'll drive underneath. Reverse layup. High off the glass. No. Rebounded Hanlogden, and the Gators will come the other way. Here's Pullen front court for Florida. Crosses over. Stops. Backs it out. Pullen looking. Wanting to feed it to Samuel. Can't. Gives it off on the wing to Richard. Now they go to Samuel. Posting up on Nelson with 3 fouls. Gets into the paint. Stops, spins, shoots short. Caught by Hanlogden, though, and he basically bats the ball into the basket.
Mo Diabate came over with late help. Nobody gets the block out, and an easy second chance opportunity for the Gators.
Reitzel giving it off to Sears. Reitzel near side. Open 3. Too strong. Long rebound claimed by Hanlogden. Bama 3 of 15 now from beyond the arc. Gators with it. Pullen. With 15:41 to go, Florida on top by 21. Pulling a deep step back 3, rims out. Rebounded by Reitzel. Flips it ahead to Sears. Mark into the front court for the trailer Estrada. Estrada going downhill. Gets to the rim. Off the glass and in. Maybe that will get something started. A stop and then a make on the other end for Bama. It's a 19-point Gator advantage. Samuel, right of the circle. Now to Pullen. Pullen driving down the lane. Stopping, spinning, looking, nearly deflected by Sears, but into the hands of Samuel. 8 on the shot clock. Goes in with a left hand. Scoop shot is good. Samuel getting it all at the rim. He's got 9.
He was matched up on Mark Sears. The help came a little bit late, and another layup for the Gators.
They get 14 for Samuel, Estrada in the lane. Pump fake in a feed into the hands of Nelson, and then a foul's going to be whistled on the Gators. Timeout on the floor with 14:43 to go. Bama on the wrong end of a 62-41 score in Nashville here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tide fans, Golden Flake Snacks have been a proud partner with the Tide family for 66 years. The South's original potato chip, Golden Flake Snacks are delicious fan favorites because they're crafted from traditional Southern recipes. From crispy, perfectly flavored potato chips to light and airy pork rinds and fluffy, cheesy cheese puffs. Share Golden Flake Snacks with your Tide family and friends. Simple, Southern goodness. That's Golden Flake.
Back in Nashville, 14:33 to go in the ball game. Bama trails Florida 62-41. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. think Coke Zero Sugar is the best Coke ever. It's a bold statement, but it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. Coke Zero Sugar truly is amazing. Taste it for yourself. Jim Dunaway is across the way. Bama's not making up any ground, Jim.
They are not, and I was starting to wonder whether or not Rylan Griffin was done for the night. He still had a warm-up on, but he is checking into the game, so Alabama not calling it quits and thinking about the NCAA tournament yet. Rylan's going to get some more work here tonight. I will tell you, this decade, other than Nate Oates and a girl named Taylor Swift, nobody's had more hits in Nashville than Nate Oates has. He's 6-0 in this building, but Brian Passing, it's going to take a well of a comeback here. What does Alabama have to do before the next TV timeout to make this one interesting?
Well, this team needs to do what Nate Oates' good teams have done, and that's get it done on the defensive end, and they just have not had any answers for the Gators late in the first half. And since halftime, the Gators 6 for 10 from the field. Since halftime, and everything at point-blank range, are getting on the offensive glass, and they're doing a good job defending. This is the SEC's best three-point defensive team. It's not an accident that Alabama has struggled in now 3 games against the Gators, shooting the three. Just a total of 14 made threes, 13 made threes in the first 2 matchups. So that's about what Alabama averages for one game, and a struggle here in this one, just 3 made threes so far.
Alabama turns it over almost, but the Gators lose it out of bounds. Or did they?
And that's going to be, I think they came in and said it was a foul on Nick Pringle. I thought it was a Florida player that came in and knocked his own man out of bounds. No, it was Nick Pringle was over Condon trying to get the offensive rebound, banged into him, and gives it back to the Gators.
Nick had expected a lob, and instead it was a bounce pass. And they are reviewing this.
The last play is under review.
Thanks to Tom Stipe, we're able to hear what the officials have to say. Bama just out of sync in every area, Brian.
Yeah, it was a fake up high, and it didn't fake out the Gators. It faked out Nick Pringle, who went up for the lob, and the bounce pass, I don't know that it would have gotten through anyway, even if Nick would have realized it was coming low. Alabama has, as you mentioned, out of sync, and with the week off, the rest.
After review, common foul.
It'll be Florida's ball. Pretty clear to see that that was a common foul, but gives Nate Oates a chance to talk to his team. A free timeout with the review, but well, it's going to come down to defense. Alabama has the offensive firepower to get back in a game and to do it quickly. The question is, do they have the defense to get back in a game quickly? And if they do, you've got enough offense, and got a guy like Mark Sears that can get it going. Obviously, the Latrell Wright, so Rylan Griffin back in this game. Listen, the bright spot for Alabama is Rylan Griffin has looked good moving around on that lower leg injury. He's missed a game and back in action for Alabama. A little bit out of sync, but looks good moving around. Good news moving forward for this Alabama team.
Pulling with the ball front court for the Gators. Works it to the right block, gives it out to Houck. He'll try a three. He'll miss it. Rebound is tipped out, and the foul's going to be whistled on Condon for Florida. So Bama wins a rebounding battle that trip. They'll get the possession with 14:25 to go. The lead stays at 21 for the Gators, but Bama has it.
And Bama will be shooting free throws the rest of the way.
Gators been called for 6, Bama just 2.
Yeah, a chance to get points with the clock stopped. Need to get going from the three-point line to even get Mark going on both ends.
Sears gives it off to Pringle. He gives it off to Estrada. Back to Sears near side. Drives underneath the basket. Lays it up. Wouldn't go, but he got fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Mark able to get inside, take the contact, and Todd Golden going with a big lineup. Condon at 6'11" right there, but Mark Sears with the strength, able to take the contact and get to the free throw line.
Sears has made his last two after missing his first two. Make it 3 straight that the senior from Muscle Shoals has knocked down as he got that one to drop. Able to hit them both. And it's 62-43. We got 14:05 to go. Plenty of time left, but it only happens if you get some stops. Gators with the basketball. Condon will flip it over to Clayton. He'll try a 3. It's no good, but they'll say that he was fouled by Rylan Griffin. 3 shots upcoming for Walter Clayton Jr.
Yep, not a ton of contact, but enough to warrant a foul call. Mistake by Rylan Griffin.
Got him on the leg as he was
took a bad angle on the contest. You want to contest aggressively, take the right angle, and not the guy you want to see at the free throw line. Walter Clayton Jr. Zion Pullen, 2 of the best free throw shooters in the SEC, and talked about Florida's free throw woes last night. Big reason why it was not those 2 at the line. It was some of their front court players that struggle from the line, but tonight it has been the Gators guards getting it done in the lane at the free throw line and at the three-point line as well.
Clayton hits another one, and it's 65-43. Biggest lead of the night for the Gators at 22. Here's Estrada, top of the arc, trying to work downhill, gets into the paint, stops, spins, shoots, scores off the glass for 2. Pulling front court, leaves it for Haut. Haut giving it off. Kugel with the basketball. Kugel on the drive, had his shot blocked by Griffin, out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Crimson Tide. There was some contact at the end of that last play that resulted in Haut grabbing his face, and I thought I read Joe Lindsay's lips saying we'll review it at the timeout. Not a dead ball, but the media timeout to see if there was anything that warrants something being called. Driving inside and losing the handle will be Kugel, but they say that the reach on the part of Rylan Griffin is what caused that, and on Rylan, that'll be his 3rd.
I thought Rylan fouled him a couple of times before that, but actually what they called was a push-off by Kugel, lowered his shoulder. Rylan Griffin took the brunt of that, but it'll be Florida at the line.
They just won't miss, will they? Free throw good. It's 16 of 18 for the Gators from the stripe. Bama 6 of 10. Free throw up and good. And with 13:23 to go, Bama trails at 67-45. Estrada for Sears, top of the arc. Sears off the screen, getting into the paint. Stopping, leaning in, got it to go off the glass. Mark now with a dozen. Tied with Estrada atop the Bama list, but collectively it's not enough. They're down 20 with 13 minutes to go. Hanlogden looking low, giving it off to Condon, who is guarded by a couple of guys, and a reach is going to be called. No, a tie-up. And the arrow is going to favor the Gators with 12:55 remaining. I thought Rylan Griffin had picked up another one in a span of 2 minutes. He's got 3 fouls right now.
Came with a quick double team, got the tie-up. Alabama needs stops and needs to create turnovers. These Florida guards do a good job of taking care of the ball. It's going to be difficult on that end.
Gators with it near side. They take it to the top of the arc, pulling. Now driving, stops halfway down the lane, misses the jumper. Ball batted into Hanlogden's hands. He has a reverse. It rolls all around the rim and then settles home. 22 again, the advantage for the Gators. Estrada on the drive, dishes it out to Stevenson. Sears, 3, too strong. Rebound claimed by the Gators. Actually, it may have been a little short. It was flat on the attempt. Hit the iron, skipped over. And the ball goes back to Florida with 12:20 to play. Gators backing it out beyond the arc, pulling. Driving from the left wing, stops in the lane, spins, kicks it out. Clayton with it now at 10. He'll let fly from deep. That's no good. Rebound claimed by Pringle. And Bama will come the other direction. Here comes Sears, front court. 12 minutes left to play. Sears on the drive, hands it off to the trailer Pringle. Missed the layup. but he got fouled. We'll have shots upcoming when we return. 11:57 to go. Florida 69, Bama 47. Here in Nashville on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
11 minutes, 57 seconds to go in Nashville. Bama trails Florida 69-47. Here's an important reminder to all Crimson Tide fans to stay up to date with all recommended vaccinations. Flu season is here. COVID-19 continues. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM to learn more. Tom Stipe, Chris Stewart, Brian Pasick. We are on one side of the Bridgestone Arena court. On the other side is Jim Dunaway.
Hey, first of all, shout out to some Alabama students who have made their way up here. About 100 of them in the student section down here, filling that up in a nice Alabama crowd in here tonight on a late night in Nashville, Tennessee. Brian Pasick, I'm going to ask you this question, and maybe allow me a follow-up. But down in this game, we know the NCAA tournament's waiting on Thursday or Friday. If you can't come back and win this one, is there a way to take something positive out of this last 11 minutes and 57 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to play to a standard. We've heard that somewhere before in our athletic department, and it doesn't matter if you're up, down, or tied. Alabama needs to play a certain way, and if they want to advance, whether it's here, which, you know, I don't know if Alabama could come back with the way Florida's playing here tonight, but regardless, Alabama needs to do a better job and figure out a way to get stops, and when things aren't going well, to get it done on the defensive end. They haven't been able to so far tonight against the Gators.
Alabama. Jim, do you have a follow-up?
No follow-up.
Got it. Thank you very much. The court recognizes the play-by-play guy from Fairfield, Mr. Stewart. 11:57 remaining in the half. We're still working on getting our rhythm down here on the crew as well. Nick Pringle at the strike for Alabama. Takes a deep breath. And now the Seabrook, South Carolina native will try the first and get it to go. 69-48. Second one's too strong. Rebound hand-logged into Florida. And the Gators come the other way. 21-point Florida advantage. 9:50 left to go in the contest. Pullen directing traffic. Going to his right, stopping on the wing. Back to the top of the arc, hand-logged it. Left side, feeding it off to Kugel. Kugel crossing over, going baseline, working to the block, and kicking it out to Condon. All alone, three, no good. Rebound tip, claimed by Estrada. Aaron bringing it ahead for Alabama after his first rebound of the game. Estrada going underneath, kicking it near side. Reitzel steps into a three, no good. Rebounded Pringle, pivots, goes up. It's no good, but he is fouled and will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Nick Pringle battling on the offensive end, goes up high, gets the rebound. Bama's been dominated on the glass. It's about the 10-minute mark of the first half, but Nick Pringle doing a good job the last couple of possessions, getting to the free throw line right there. Alabama needs more of that the last 11-15 of the game. Alabama's gotten some good looks from three. It's a great perimeter defense in Florida, but You can continue the battle whether the shots are falling or not, and Nick Pringle has on the last couple of possessions.
Pringle's first of 2. Short on that one. Pringle 3 of 7 from the stripe. He's got 7 points, but he's got 10 rebounds to lead everybody in that column. Hanlogden with 7 leads the Gators. He will exit along with Pullen and Kugel for Florida. 11:15 to go. And Pringle hits 1 of 2. Sam Walters in. Pringle will sit down. Giving him a breather. With 11:14 to play. Bama trying to avoid being the third of the top 3 seeds eliminated on quarterfinal Friday here in Nashville. Top seed Tennessee, second seed Kentucky have already been sent packing. Condon lost the handle, got it back, spins in the lane, shoots, and somehow got it to go. Just sort of flipped it towards the basket, got the friendly roll, leads back to 23. Sears on the drive, the kick to Walters for 3. In and out, no good, and the rebound control by Florida. Samuel snares it, flips it ahead to Clayton. Clayton, working right, goes down the lane. Finger roll is good. 25-point lead. Check that, 24-point lead for Florida. Reitzel drives, flips it out to Walters. Shoots it again, hits it this time. Timeout, Nate Oates. It's a full, and we'll take it with him. 73-52 Florida. Commanding lead with 10:22 to go. We're back in a moment on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is the moment you've been waiting for.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our home.
When you step onto the court and into the spotlight. The moment to show that hard work and long days pay off. Because when that final shot leaves your hands and we leave our seats, that powerful moment connects us all. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Power for a better Alabama.
At Red Diamond, we know that there's simply nothing better than the perfect sip of fresh brewed iced tea. And we've been working hard to make sure choosing Red Diamond is always easy. With only simple ingredients, water, tea leaves, and pure cane sugar. Or no sugar. We make sure our tea tastes like, well, tea. Stop by your local cooler and pick up a gallon for a perfect sip today. Red Diamond. Perfect's not easy.
Bama's down 21 in Nashville, 73-52, 10-22 to go in the ball game against the Florida Gators. Bama fans find out who, when, and where the Tide will be playing in the NCAA tournament this Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. at Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa North. Baumhauer's Bud Light combined for specials, contests, giveaways, and fun as we cheer on the Tide. That's Baumhauer's 500 Harper Lee Drive in Tuscaloosa, and Roll Tide. Jim Dunaway, a lot of coaching going on over there still.
It is. A part of me thinks Nate Oates called that timeout just to admire that 1 3-pointer finally went in again. It had been a while, it felt like. 10:22 to go in this one, and the mood in the huddle is not great. There's a lot of long faces standing behind the 5 that'll be in there, and I do believe attitude has a little something to be worked out here in the final 10 minutes and 22 seconds. Nate Oates is challenging them to finish this to the standard that Brian Passing was talking about a little bit earlier, and that is going to be a challenge. 10:22 seems like a long time right now.
Yeah, and as we talked about, went to the shoot-around this morning, and it was as energetic a shoot-around as I've been to probably in a couple of years. I mean, this team was fired up. They were ready to go, and you almost wonder, after considering what I saw this morning to what the result has been tonight, almost too high when things went poorly. Alabama not able to handle that adversity. They were excited to play this game, but part of playing a game against a good team is when adversity comes, how do you handle it? And Alabama, midway through the first half, did not handle it well. And, you know, you can say, well, hey, it's late in the season. You are who you are, but no, you can learn anytime you got out on the court.
Latrell Reitzel hobbling Looked like he twisted his ankle for a second. He's back on the other end, though. And he's trying to play on that hobbled right leg defensively. They get it inside to Samuel. His layup is missed. Rebound picked up by Sears, and Mark will bring it ahead. Reitzel looks better. He'll drive. He'll spin. He'll circle away from traffic. Gives it off to Sears. Back to Reitzel. Shoots a three. It's a tad short, and the rebound is controlled by Florida, and a foul's committed by Alabama. It's on Estrada, and that'll be his second. I think Reitzel's going to exit. Rylan Griffin will come in to replace him.
And I think one of the reasons Rylan Griffin is in this game, considering time and score, is get him reps.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that he's just missed almost 2 weeks of games. He hasn't practiced, and important to get him going. You can tell he's out of sync. He's moving pretty well, but out of sync in this game.
On the drive, Clayton got tripped inadvertently by Nelson, I believe, and that'll be his fourth. So you got Griffin with 3, Nelson now with 4. That's way down the list of our issues right now, though. 73-52, 9:46 to play is the biggest issue. As they say, Estrada, no, Walters, I'm sorry, committed the foul. And on Sam, that's his second. So still just 3 on Grant Nelson. Free throw up and good from Clayton, and the Gators push the lead back to 22.
You got to give Florida a lot of credit. I was in the building last night for their game against Georgia. They were fortunate to win, did not play well, and the Gators have been flawless in this game, with the exception of the first few minutes. They have executed. They've gotten the ball to their playmakers. They've gone to the free throw line and converted, and they have defended at an extremely high level against this Alabama offense.
Estrada giving it off to Sears. Feeding it to Walters now. Walters driving to his right. Walters driving to the block. Stops, spins, shoots, and can't get it to go. And Samuel grabs another rebound for the Gators. Can't believe that's only his 4th board of the contest, but that's what they say. Working up top, Aberdeen throws a lob, and the dunk is missed by Samuel. Bama gets a run out ahead to Estrada, and he'll lay it up uncontested with 9:11 to go. 23-point Florida lead at 21-point lead, 75-54. Aberdeen with it, flipping it right side at the timeline to Clayton. Clayton off of a screen, has it top of the arc. Clayton working against Walters. Goes right, stops, looks, bounce pass. Goes to Samuel, drives in, the layup hung on the rim and fell. Nelson slipped, went down and not able to get back in the play. And then Mark Sears driving, got fouled, thankfully, or that would have been a turnover by the Tide.
Yeah, he lost possession of the ball. I think the bump may have caused it. And he'll go to the line. That'll be the 10th team foul on the Gators, sending Mark Sears to the line for 2.
Alabama lost to Florida in Gainesville, 105-87. That was just a couple of weeks ago, and the Tide very much on the verge of losing by a similar margin as Nelson will exit. Sears at the stripe, hits the first, and gets the second to go as well. 10 team fouls on Florida, 6 on the Crimson Tide.
Alabama's going to come out with full court pressure. Need stops, need to create turnovers. Florida's so good taking care of the ball all year long and in this game.
77-56 Florida. The ball in the lead with 8:20 to go. Samuel, double team, fires it far corner. Open look for 3 is good by Will Richard.
Alabama came with a double team. They're having to take some chances because of the time and score, but you can't let Richard get open. He was wide open and knocks it down.
Griffin drives in, got fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Bama's attacking offensively in a manner you'd like to see them do, but just not able to get stops on the defensive end.
Yeah, you're in a tough situation where you're having to take some chances on defensively, and Florida's so solid with their veteran guards making plays. They handle the double team, get it to their best three-point shooter. The Gators able to extend the lead with Richard knocking down another three.
Free throw up and good by Ryland. He'll have another attempt upcoming. And that one's good as well. Griffin's first 2 points of the game. Couple of rebounds in 14 minutes of work. Good to see him back after missed the last game, or at a lead because of an injury, as the Gators will get a foul opportunity after Alabama's whistled on the defensive end. 7:52 to go. It's all Florida. Gators 80, Bama 58 here in Nashville at the SEC Tournament on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
7:22 to play in the ball game. Bama trails Florida 80-58. Remember, Tide fans, it's a new season at Kohl's with everyday styles and great prices. You can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohls.com today. Across the way we go. Come on, Jim. Get it going.
Man, that was a painful timeout and a painful stretch of the game for Latrell Wrightsell. When he came out injured, he went all the way first to the bench and then never sat down, made his way off the court, then into the tunnel, then all the way back into the tunnel, then to the locker room where he stayed for a little bit. Then he came back halfway in the tunnel. Couldn't really get anything going on that right lower extremity. He has just spent a little time on the bike, and he's in a lot of pain over here. He's fighting through it. I don't know if we'll see him again tonight, but he's over here trying to stretch it out, and it's his right leg. Something's up with that.
Not surprised, Jim, and again, we could tell he hobbled, actually played a little bit, a couple of possessions maybe after that, but Brian, this is a case where 7:52 to go, you're down 22. You're not going to risk anything with him, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Hopefully he'll be ready to go next week for the NCAA tournament. Listen, this has been a frustrating night, a disappointing night, and I thought Alabama would come out and play better, and it hasn't happened. But this team will hear their name called in the NCAA tournament regardless of how this game ends. That's good news, and there's some really good teams that took beatings tonight, and I was hoping Alabama wouldn't be one of them. Florida ready to go, has played well, and Alabama, when adversity hit about midway through the first half, did not respond well, and hopefully they can learn from it and be better next week in the NCAA tournament.
Pull and hit, too. That is the beauty of this as opposed to some other years. We know where we're going to be next week, and it's a good thing as Nelson's putback is good, and the foul is going to be called on the Gators. It's a chance for an and one. Shot came up from the right side of the lane, went off the glass. Nelson was there to follow it up, get the dunk, and they whistle a foul on the Gators in the process.
We've seen some hustle plays from Nick Pringle on the offensive glass. This time Grant Nelson, as he went up high, threw it down, took the contact, and able to convert the three-point play.
82-61, Florida with the big lead with 7.5 to go. Front court pulling. The Gators will run a lot of clock, running their set. Pullen directing traffic, goes to his right, goes behind the back with a dribble, picks it up, gives it off to Houck, feeds it into the corner, they throw it into the paint, ball is knocked away, a scramble on the deck, Gators get it, they find a man wide open in the corner, Aberdeen for three, no good, long rebound, goes to the Gators, and they will wisely back it out, run the clock. Can't fault the effort for Bama, just couldn't secure the loose ball. Here's Pullen now, looking to his left with 7 minutes to play in the game. Shot clock down to 6. To Houck, who tries it three. It's no good. Rebounded by Jaron Stevenson, and the freshman will bring it ahead. Stevenson in the front court. Stevenson down the lane to the rim, off the glass, and got it to go. Big fella went coast to coast there.
We'd love to get him going. A little confidence going into the NCAA tournament. Nice job rebounding the ball. Pretty well defended. And nice move for a man that size to spin and finish at the rim.
Aberdeen working off the screen. Stops, looks, gives it off. All alone, Condon tries the three and hits it. Left him alone, and he knocked one down.
Doesn't shoot many, but he was wide open.
Griffin trying to answer, does. And Rylan Griffin with the three makes it a 19-point game again, 85-66. Florida with the ball in the lead and 6:10 to go. Pullen working center court, working against Estrada, goes left, runs into Nelson, no whistle. They throw it left side, open three-pointer, no good. Ball tipped high into the air, again long, out into the hands of the Gators. They get a reset to 20 on the shot clock. Pullen still with the dribble alive at 10. At 9, around the horn they go. Aberdeen on the wing at 7. At 6, Aberdeen off the bounce for 3. It's another one. Freshman has buried a couple. Now here's Bama the other way. Sears on the run, hands it off, and the layup is missed by Nelson. Couldn't decide whether to dunk it. As Bama gets the steal inside, great hustle. Grant Nelson took it away from Condon, and then the layup, good for 2 by Estrada. And then a whistle and a foul on Mark on the other end. Boy, great hustle. Tide has not been very good, but they haven't quit, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was Mark Sears who tossed it. Grant Nelson went up and missed the layup. Alabama missed some layups and dunks early. That is one at point-blank range. Not sure it would matter, but nice hustle for Mark Sears. Gets it to Aaron Estrada, who does get the layup to go down.
Pullen, shooting 1 plus the bonus. And he missed it. Sam Walters clears it for Alabama. Grant Nelson comes ahead, gives it off to Estrada. Aaron driving down the lane, gives it off Pringle inside. Reverse slam for 2. Pringle got himself set, threw it in. Nate Oates says we can't stay back. We got to help defensively and create some pressure.
Nick Pringle, one of the bright spots in this game for Alabama with a double-double. 10 points, 10 boards.
Pullen with a basketball. Hands it off to Clayton. 4:40 to go. Clayton throws it down low to Samuel. The catch, the pump fake, the shot. They're going to call a walk on him first. Traveling violation there, and it's 88-70.
It was a nice pass to get it inside to pull, and Alabama came with the double team, then the triple team. Samuel trying to readjust, move the pivot foot, and turns it over.
Estrada on the drive from the left wing. Stops, steps back. Deep jumper, short, rebounded by Estrada. Estrada needs help. Gives it off to Walters. Sam, the handoff to Aaron, far corner. Estrada getting into the lane, stopping, falling back, shot, no good. Tip, back to Estrada. Walters near side, 3, bottom. I'm with you. I thought it was going to miss 2, but it was a bank first 3, and it's a 15-point game with 4:05 to go.
Nice job, Alabama, getting on the offensive glass. Aaron Estrada, and then the kick out to Sam Walters, who gets one to go down.
Pullen, working right side, double team, gives it off to Samuel. Around they go to Clayton. He slips, and they're going to call a foul. Oh, my goodness. They call a foul on Grant Nelson, and I think Clayton tripped over his own feet. Good night. I don't blame Nate Oates for coming out, being upset with Vladimir Voyard at all. Oh, he was nowhere near him. Oh, fall flat. That's awful. He was 2 feet away from him. He tripped over his own feet, and that's a horrible call at a time when Bama needs a little help. 88-73, Gators at the timeout. Final under 4 media break here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Hi, I'm Nick Pringle.
And I'm Loyal McQueen.
Winter is a time for excitement of Crimson Tide basketball, but it is also when viruses that cause respiratory diseases are more rapid into our community.
Vaccination is important for everyone, and especially for those who are at higher risk of developing complications, including older Americans and those with medical conditions.
Make sure you and your family are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19, flu, and RSV. So don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/immunization today. Stay safe and roll Tide.
3:48 to go in the ball game. Bama trails Florida 88-73 in Nashville. Be sure and stay tuned after the game for the Regents postgame show with Bama coach Nate Oates. And don't forget, you can get your University of Alabama Visa check card from Regents. Visit regents.com/GoBama to order yours today. Jim Dunaway, a horrible call on our side of the floor, but don't let that distract from the fact that Bama's cut it to 15. A little more energy over there.
Yeah, more on that in just a second. First, Wrightsell, the concern is his knee. It was not his ankle. It's his knee they're worried about. And they've applied a couple of things and put him on a couple of ointments and running through a couple of tests. It doesn't look to be too severe. Not a lot of concern yet, just a lot of pain in that right knee. Back to the call. When you got to the huddle, after everyone in the arena reacted, Nick Pringle led the guys saying, come on, we can still do this. Let's at least put in a little effort on this. It was going to get interesting if you got that call there. If that call had gone right and Alabama got the basketball, this game could have been a little different here. We'll see what they do out of the huddle, though.
Yeah, every possession matters, Brian, and that's the key. I mean, you got a lot of work to do that you've created, but that one would have helped the cause.
Yeah, obviously a bad call right there, but
and you're sitting the best free throw shooter in the league to the line.
Yeah, listen, I love the leadership and the toughness shown by Nick Pringle late in this game, and the fact that he's still encouraging his teammates. Mentioned the double-double, 10 points, 10 boards in this game. His energy, effort level has been really good in the second half, and Alabama was on a 7-0 run before that free throw by Clayton.
Clayton hits the first and the second, and the Gators so good, 23 of 26 at the free throw line.
After missing 18 yesterday against Georgia.
Sears gets to the bucket, lays it in with 3:38, 3:37, 3:36 left to play. Richard with the basketball, bringing it ahead. Bama trapping where they can. Richard picks it up, gives it off to Hout. Pivots, dribbles right, goes down the lane, throws it up with the left hand and got it to go. Bama having to overplay and gamble. Gators with a 17-point lead. Here's Sears, the lob, the flush by Pringle. That was pretty. Been prettier if we were up 5. But instead, that's a walk. And now with 3 minutes to go, the Gators have the ball. They didn't call the travel. 92-77, Gators by 15.
Nick Pringle continues to play hard. The lob and finish. He's been a bright spot here late in the second half.
Gators go left side with it to Pullen. Pullen throws it down low. Ball batted around into the hands of Samuel, and he gets fouled. And that was frustration as much as anything from Nick Pringle. Had the ball in his hands, couldn't hang on to it, and then Samuel got it. Went in for the shot, but got fouled by Nick, and that will be Pringle's third.
Yeah, the bounce of the ball just goes the way of the Gators. Great effort by Nick Pringle. Knocks it away right to a man in blue, and Florida back at the line.
And up by 16 points now as Samuel hits that one. Give Florida credit. Boy, they were down 8-0 out of the gate. Bama was getting anything they wanted, and they kept the lead through about the 6-minute mark, I guess, of the first half. And Florida, once taking the lead, has not given it back. Free throw up and good. Samuel gets them both. Bama led 31-30 with 5:24 to go. And Florida has led ever since. .235 to go after the made free throws. It's 94-77. Estrada got fouled. And Aaron will go to the line with 2:31 to play. Shooting a pair of shots. 2 free throws the rest of the way.
You know, as we talked about a few minutes ago, important for Alabama to finish this game with some energy, some toughness, a little momentum. It has been a tough night for the Crimson Tide, but late in this game, led by Nick Pringle, one of its seniors, playing hard on both ends of the floor. Hopefully that carries over to next week.
First free throw missed by Estrada. He'll get another one. Second free throw up and good. So Estrada gets 1 of 2. Aaron with 16 points for the Tide in this one. Pulling with the basketball in the backcourt for Florida with 2:25 remaining. Bama down 94-78. Gators set to move to the semifinals tomorrow against Texas A&M. An upset winner over Kentucky earlier. As the foul is going to be whistled on the Crimson Tide and Rylan Griffin, and that'll be his 4th.
Good to see Rylan Griffin out there and pleasantly surprised with how well he's moving around. It hasn't been a great game for Rylan, a little bit of rust, and understandably so, but looks quick, has his athleticism. Good to get him some reps, and hopefully the dust will be off for next week and he can get back to the way he was playing throughout the season.
First free throw up, second free throw missed. 94-78 remains the score. Couple of misses from Hout as Bama drives off the glass, and scoring again is Sears, who's got 18 now on the night. 1:58 to go. Gators up by 14. Driving, dishing, far side Aberdeen. He'll back it out as Florida doesn't care about points. They just want to bleed clock right now. Aberdeen working against Stevenson. Aberdeen driving right, throws it all the way to the left corner. Caught by Richard. He'll drive and dish it back out to Clayton. He'll drive, had it poked away, stolen. Bama works it ahead. Sears for the trailer. Griffin for 3. That's no good. Rebound claimed by Florida with 1:22 to go and a foul's called on Bama. If you get that one to go and you get it to 11, there is a puncher's chance, but not now, you wouldn't think.
Well, it's been a tough night for Alabama in a lot of ways, but especially the three-point line. And the struggle continues from deep against the Florida Gators. It's not an accident, but because this Florida team's so good defending the three, but even the open threes for Alabama have not gone down. We've seen some wide open looks, not a ton, not as many as they normally get. But that one by Rylan Griffin, good look, just not able to convert.
Hout hits the 2 free throws and makes it a 96-80 lead with 1:20 to go. Sears running front court, working inside the arc, flips it to Griffin, back to Sears. He'll let fly from deep, no good. Rebound tipped twice into the hands of Stevenson. Jaron lays it up and in. Gators inbound it quickly, getting it into the hands of Pullen. Pullen picks up the dribble and throws it away. Turnover with 59 seconds remaining, and Alabama down 14 will have the basketball. Tide will inbound it. Getting it to Estrada. Gets it front court. Gives it off to Walters. Walters to Griffin. Griffin to Sears. Mark on the drive to the basket. Reverse layup in for two. Gators inbound it to Pullen, and a quick foul's called on Jaron Stevenson. 46 seconds remain. Bama do within 12. Again, the Tide was down at the half by a score.
2 shots.
Help me out. What was the score for half? 48-33. Yeah, 15-point lead for Florida. First free throw up and good.
As we talked about at halftime, important for Alabama to come out. First 5 minutes of the second half so important, and that 5-minute stretch went the way of the Gators. Alabama not able to get stops, and listen, a tough night, a disappointing night, but Alabama trying to finish strong.
Sears on the drive, lays it up, couldn't will that one over the rim, and the Gators able to get the rebound. Playing keep away right now. Aberdeen will bring it ahead. Final 30 seconds. 98-84, and Clayton will drive in and throw it home. 16-point lead as Florida hits the century mark again. Griffin drives in, throws it down. Well, we know the leg's okay as Bama commits a foul in the back court with just 16 seconds remaining, in Florida ready to advance to the semifinals. As Rylan Griffin, I believe, just committed his 5th. He did. Pulling at the line, shooting 2. 16.6 seconds remain and a 14-point Florida lead. Pullen knocks down the first. He's got 18. Also 3 assists and 4 boards with a steal. Also in his ledger in 30 minutes of work. Both free throws good. And the Gators lead it 102-86. Bama basketball. Here's Sears front court. Playing off of a screen. Has it, flips it to Stevenson. Back to Sears. Mark on the drive. Gets into the paint. Off the glass, no, but he's fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, it'll be Florida and Texas A&M tomorrow in the other semifinal. Texas A&M, impressive performance against Kentucky earlier. Couple surprises here in the quarterfinals. Tennessee, the SEC regular season champ, goes down. Mississippi State playing well here in Nashville, and a lot of people thought Florida could make a run. This isn't a shock with the matchup. That's one of those, talk about matchups in the NCAA tournament. They get favorable matchups. This has not been a great matchup for Alabama here at the SEC tournament.
Free throws good by Sears. 102-88 is going to be the final. Florida will run out the clock, and Alabama falls in the quarterfinal round of the SEC tournament. First loss for Nate Oates in an SEC tournament here in Nashville. The Gators advance. They'll play tomorrow afternoon in the semifinals against Texas A&M. Alabama awaits to find out where they will go, likely as a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament next week. But the SEC tournament ends for Alabama with a 102-88 loss to Florida here in Nashville. Postgame coming your way in a moment on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Yellowhammer Brewing is proud to sponsor the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yellowhammer Brewing has been crafting fine beers for the state of Alabama for 12 years running. Their beers include a variety of classic styles, including their latest release, Yellowhammer Gold, a light, easy-drinking American lager. These guys are local and doing great things for their community. You can find their beers at grocery stores, restaurants, and craft beer shops throughout the state. Check them out at yellowhammerbrewing.com. Make your next pint of Yellowhammer and roll Tide.
Hi, I'm Jay Howard, an employee at BASF in Alabama. As a supervisor, I love working with a company who wins by offering great benefits to its team members. With great chemistry, anything is possible. At BASF, we create chemistry around the world through our people and our products. To join a winning team and a great place to work, visit BASF.US/Alabama. That's BASF.US/Alabama. BASF, we create chemistry.
Convenience is the name of the game at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Tuscaloosa University. Located on Veterans Memorial Parkway, the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Tuscaloosa University offers just the right amenities for a relaxing getaway or a productive business trip. The University of Alabama, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Coleman Coliseum, and the Bryant Conference Center are within 2 miles, making any visit to the Capstone convenient. Whatever you're visiting Tuscaloosa for, the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Tuscaloosa University is the perfect hotel destination and a proud preferred hotel partner of the Crimson Tide.
Hi, I'm Nick Pringle.
And I'm Loyal McQueen.
Winter is a time for excitement of Crimson Tide basketball, but it is also when viruses that cause respiratory diseases are more rapid into our community.
Vaccination is important for everyone, and especially for those who are at higher risk of developing complications, including older Americans and those with medical conditions.
Make sure you and your family are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including COVID-19, flu, and RSV. So don't wait, vaccinate.
For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/immunization today. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Southern homes are particularly vulnerable to termites. In this climate, you need guaranteed protection. You need Cook's Pest Control and Centricon. Termites attack the Centricon stations, exposing themselves to an agent that eliminates their entire colony. Upgrade from old-fashioned liquid service to the proven protection of Centricon and Cook's Pest Control. Call Cook's today for a free evaluation.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
Alabama fans, college basketball is back. So grab a cold, refreshing Dos Equis lager and make the most of the big game with your real ones. Whether you're at the bar with fellow Crimson Tide fans or watching with your friend who went to that other school, Dos Equis is there for it all. So buy a cold, crisp Dos Equis and raise one with a real one on game day. Dos Equis, proud sponsor of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2023, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Welcome to the Regions postgame show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Order the University of Alabama Regions Visa debit card and prepaid Regions Now card at regions.com/GoBama.
Welcome into the Regions postgame show. You can order your University of Alabama Regions Visa debit card and prepaid Regions Now card at regions.com/GoBama. Bama loses to Florida 102-88 in the SEC tournament. The final stats are presented by Assurance Financial in less time than halftime. You can apply for a mortgage at AssuranceMortgage.com. Bama's leading scorer, Mark Sears, with 22. Aaron Estrada, 17. Florida led by Clayton, 23. Pullen with 19. BP, no other way to say this, tough day at the office.
Yeah, last 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes of the second half, that was difference. And really more than anything, the end of the first half. It was all Florida. Alabama, I thought, came out with a ton of energy. They looked to be ready to play. And when adversity hit, they didn't respond very well, to say the least. Florida was really good tonight, much better than they were last night against the Georgia Bulldogs. I watched that game, and Florida struggled in that game. And Georgia had something to do with it, but it just wasn't a great performance by the Gators. And Todd Golden got them playing much better. And they were really good tonight. Alabama went down at halftime, down 15. It was a 21-2 run the last 6 minutes of the first half. Alabama just didn't have what they normally do on the offensive end. I thought Florida's defense was really good, and They let it affect their defense. Walter Clayton Jr., Zion Pullen, so good taking the ball to the basket. Alabama, because of the score, I thought took some chances defensively. And Florida, too good on the perimeter. Their interior players did a good job of rebounding the ball, forcing difficult shots, and they continue, Florida does, to defend the three at such a high level. I think it's a reason why this has been a tough matchup for Alabama in their 3 games against the Gators. Fortunate to win the one in Tuscaloosa in overtime, got beat pretty badly in Gainesville, and another easy win for the Gators here tonight. Disappointing night, tough game for Alabama. Florida was really good, and Alabama have a chance to bounce back. Fortunately, it'll be in the NCAA tournament. Going to have to play a whole lot better than we saw tonight, and I expect them to do that.
We mentioned in pregame, and actually just a moment or two ago, that Bama had a lot of energy, not only at the beginning of the game, but in shoot-around this morning. Here's a weird question for you. Can you be too ready to play? Can you just be so hyped up that you just blow it all out in the first few minutes?
Well, I don't think you could be too ready to play, but I think when you're pumped up and you're hyped and you're excited and your energy level's high, you got to maintain your poise when adversity hits. And when things were going well, this team was excited. When it wasn't, it took a turn in body language and energy and all of it, and Florida took advantage of that. So, I thought what I saw in shoot-around today was this team was excited to be here, and I think that was the case, and that was certainly the case the first few minutes of this game. Alabama got up 8-0, and really it could have been worse. Bama missed some dunks and layups, and their energy level was high, but once Florida got it going and made it difficult for Alabama on both ends of the floor, Alabama didn't respond to it very well. And if you want to advance in tournament play, and Nate Oates knows what he's doing in conference tournaments and NCAA tournaments, you got to handle adversity over the course of the game, and Alabama wasn't able to do that here tonight against a good Florida team.
Controlling the boards is presented by Cook's Pest Control. Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. Rebounding numbers, Bama with 35, Florida with 19. Again, in the SEC tournament, Bama loses to Florida 102-88. Before we take a break, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We are back in Nashville. Bama, unfortunately, goes down to Florida 102-88, ending a short stay in Nashville for the SEC tournament. We'll take a look at the turning point of the game, and when we come back, this is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
If you're looking for the best selection in Crimson Tide apparel, look no further than the Soup Store. The Soup Store is every Bama fan's ultimate destination for the hottest gear and accessories, with 3 great locations around campus to serve you: in Tuscaloosa on campus at the University Student Center, on the Strip in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium, and on Bryant Drive. If you can't get to Tuscaloosa, shop the Soup Store online at soupstore.ua.edu. The Soup Store is a proud partner of Alabama Athletics.
Domino's delivers game day across Tuscaloosa and the surrounding area. Locally owned in Tuscaloosa for 30-plus years, the team at Domino's is proud to be a supporter of Alabama basketball and athletics across the capstone. Domino's would like to thank our customers for supporting our local business for over 30 years. Make Domino's your choice on game days year-round. Domino's is proud to deliver your Alabama Crimson Tide game days anytime. Just visit RollDominoes.com. Thanks for your business, and Roll Tide.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Baumhauer's Victory Grill invites all diehard basketball fans to compete in the second annual Bracket Challenge. Sign up at baumhauers.com or scan the QR code for your favorite Baumhauers location. Register now and fill out your brackets by March 21 for a chance to win a $500 Visa gift card. Grand prize from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Bama loses to Florida here in Nashville, the SEC tournament, 102-88. The turning point of the game is presented by Payless Drugs, your locally owned family pharmacy with 4 locations in the Birmingham area. Payless can handle your prescriptions, over-the-counter solutions, and home delivery. Visit mynewpharmacy.com to pay less. Florida delivered. Bama gets out 8-0, and Florida takes off and doesn't look back, BP.
Yeah, and even after that, I thought Alabama battled us back and forth, had some opportunities to extend the lead. And, there was a sequence, 5 or 6 minutes left. Alabama had a couple of turnovers. Florida was able to take advantage and really never look back. But that last 5 minutes of the first half was the difference and needed to come out and play well. Early in the second half, that didn't happen. Saw some fight late by Alabama. Love what I saw out of Nick Pringle in this game. Ends up with a double-double, showed some energy. And right now, the concern, Latrell Wrightsell went out, had some ice on his knee. Hopefully it's not serious, and he'll be back. So important for this team. Played great against Arkansas. First game that he was really full speed and came out with a lot of energy like his teammates. Got in foul trouble, and that hurt this Alabama team. When he went to the bench, he was doing a good job of scoring at the rim. The best percentage three-point shooter in the SEC. Never really got going from deep, and this Alabama team struggled from deep against Florida, and that's been the case in 3 games against the Gators. But late first half woes for Alabama on both ends of the floor. Florida was able to capitalize, and they're an impressive team, a tough matchup